live. Did it?
I don't think you hit the button, man.
I think I did, D-Batch. You can tell.
Hit the button!
Because I instantly sound more awake.
I don't think it was live.
Hey, I'm pretty sure. Let me turn this. Let me make sure that's off. I'm pretty sure we're live right now. I'll know in a second. But I first and foremost, Soccer87, I want to thank everybody that's listening to us right now. I want to say I appreciate everything. And thank you guys for joining us for yet another fantastic RDX podcast. We have a bunch to talk about today. Sorry, I just remembered that I got blocked for asking someone what their gamer tag was earlier. So, basically, we have a lot of topics today, guys. We got a great panel, as always. Randolph Thor might jump in here. I don't know if he will, but, you know, he plays he plays a little fast and loose here lately, so it's kind of hard to lock him down, you know, unless you're pretty much every other podcast. So, shout out to Randolph Thor, but want to do some intros, want to do some shout-outs. We got a patron game giveaway winner, and want to give you guys some shout-outs in the chat as well. So, hey, Colt Eastwood, how you been, brother?
Good. I'm looking at the screen. Outer Worlds looks really good. I like the outer glow around the screen. Like, this is a top shelf podcast that we're on right now.
What?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's been a really good week. It's going to be a heated discussion. A lot of people better show up to hear all about it.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, D-Batch, man, how have you been, brother?
I'm good, man. It's an exciting week to talk about shit, man. I can't wait to get into the topics tonight. These fanboys gonna be put in place today, man. They gotta know their role.
Man,
I'm just hyped, and I gotta find a charger for my laptop because it's about to die.
what do you got? Like a fucking Switch over there?
No, I'm on a Surface. I use the Surface Pro.
No, I'm saying, what are you doing? Beating your hand with a Switch as you're talking about these people paying? I mean,
I was literally beating my hand, hoping it.
I'm from America, D, so it's always meant in the worst way possible. Hey, Fonzarelli, how have you been, sir?
You know, I have to disagree with Colt. It's not really top shelf. This podcast is more like that shelf in your grocery store where things are about to expire. They throw them there for cheap. You know? But anyway, we are here. I am happy, and we're going to talk about some stuff. A lot of I told you so's is going to happen today for me.
Really?
Oh.
That'll be interesting. Hey, xCloud Tim Dog, powering down, floating down on an umbrella from the clouds. How have you been, sir?
Mary Poppins, y'all. Good. Really good week to be here to talk. Awesome panel, all-star panel, awesome fans. A lot of stuff to talk about, and we inch closer to XO19 or XO19, whatever you want to call it. And I'm really excited to be here, and we're gonna get going and going good.
Get going and going and going. A fucking Energizer Bunny. Speaking of Energizer Bunny, somebody that's the size of the Energizer Bunny. Zonker87, how have you been?
I'm doing good. You know, I'm typing up my review for Death Stranding because all I need to do is watch trailers and see little gameplay, and I can review the game now. That's the way it is. I can judge it off of that, guys. That's all I'm going to say. I don't need to play games if I'm a content creator. Fuck that noise, right?
You know, you're being a little messy, motherfucker.
I am being a little fucking messy, dude. My bad. I slipped and hit the block button like a bitch, too. Anyways, so we're going to move on from there. And I'm glad to be here with the best damn chat in the world. These guys are awesome, and women. And Dealer, you're a bitch. Let's move on.
Oh, thanks. Hey, I want to give a shout out to No Russian. We've also got Ashtray Gaming. We've also got Breen the Chaser. That's a very ominous name, sir. Hope you're not chasing the wrong people. We've also got Timothy Clark, as always. We've got Cray Simmons. We've also got Gordy Man PR. We got a lot of people in the chat. I want to thank everybody. I want to try to give some shout outs. Try not to crush the flow. J-Mo is always here. Gamebred is always here. Others Inc., of course. Timothy Dixon. All you guys, thank you so much for showing up. We are, of course, going to get into quite a few topics here. But in the meantime, we're going to get into some patron shout-outs. And then we are going to get into, the whole spiel. We got a winner of a game here, so I'll get into that. And then we will get into the first topic, which is a doozy. But we have a lot of good stuff lined up tonight. If you're already checking us out, guys, thank you so much. Hit that like button, share this out, help us grow. It's because of you that we are where we are, so we do appreciate it. Again, shout out to the patrons. This list did just update since it's right at the first, and I will proceed as always. And I gotta apologize to one in particular, but I'll start with Friendly Object, or Foreign Object, my bad. I gotta apologize to you now. Teo, I'm guessing that's how I pronounce that. Thank you, sir. Friendly Combatant, who I've been calling the wrong thing for a month now. John...
What are you calling him?
No, I think it was Friendly Combat. Maybe I misread it or something. But yeah, shout out to Friendly Combatant. Thanks for being patient. I'm far from perfect. John Blue, Darth Chaos. We've also got Prython, Vec Boss, Deviator X with this cool Darth Vader picture. Colt, did you make that? Who made that?
Which one? Prythons?
Deviator X. Maybe Graphic God made that.
Nope.
I don't know. It looks pretty good. Obi-Wan FTW, Tasteless Genie, Scout Trooper 74, Centurion 1307 of LegionofGamer.com, Real Deal Neil, Suicide King, who's been rocking out with us forever. A lot of these guys have. Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, The Legend, Chanagram, Wilmy Hood, The Bad Boy Live, Naughty Nubbin, of course, Afonso Hogan, A Squad, Slim Killer 73, and Mo Cool Kid. And that's a shout out to you, but of course, every patron is up on that banner at the top of the screen. Do appreciate it, guys. And we do have a giveaway winner for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And actually, I think it's a $100 edition, in fact. So if it's not, my bad, but at least respect the base game. I had a lot of fun with the campaign for this. So Christian Cage wins Call of Duty Modern Warfare this month. Yeah, man, giving away games, making it happen. Thank you guys for all your support. We do appreciate it. Let's get into the first topic. Death Stranding reviews are here. They're in. We'll start with this. We got some good topics later on, but this is a good opener. Letting people file in. Colt Eastwood. It ended up at a meta of 84. The goalposts were moving all over the place. He had 16 refs moving the goalposts. No one knew where the touchdown zone was anymore. Because it went up to an 85, and then that was like, okay, 84 is a trash, Gears trash, and then it went back down. 84 is a great fucking, yeah, everything's great, and nobody to this day knows what happened. But at the end of the day, it did end up at a 84 meta, and yeah. What did you think about the fact that, you know, some of our, I kind of guessed an 80 to 82. I'm a little off here, but then other reviews are saying this game is not fun. 95 out of 100.
Yeah, I was expecting an 88 or a 90. And chat, kind of chime in with me. I know a lot of people are mad that I was telling people not to blindly hate on the game, that it was going to be well loved and well received. But a weird thing happened as I started to read and watch a bunch of reviews. And this is kind of funny. Zocker was just making a joke about this. I kind of started to make up my mind, but let me be very clear that I'm not going to trash a game that I haven't played, but I definitely can tell you with absolute certainty that what I've seen and heard in the reviews made up my mind for me not to buy this game day one and to wait for a sale. And I don't even know at this point if I even want to play the game from what I've seen of the long traversal, the long time to get into the game. And I was here like 3 or 4 weeks in a row on RDX telling you guys, this game's going to do well. It may not be a game for you, but it doesn't mean it's going to be bad. And it actually kind of looks bad, but still highly praised.
Colt, I got to ask you a quick question. Do you like hiking?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't like hiking.
Because Neil Druckmann said this is the closest thing to hiking that you'll ever get. He actually said
that. He did. Yeah, that was a weird exchange. I'm sorry. This game just isn't for me with the managing the weight on your back and balancing while you walk, and you don't have waypoints. You just walk in a direction and climb over stuff. Like, just to hear all of these critics say the story's awesome, but the game isn't enjoyable. It's not the same thing as Dark Souls. Randall Thor's here now. So,
oh, hi, Randall. My thing with Death Stranding is people were taking our quotes, or my quote even. I'm saying what I said about the game was, look, I think it's extremely poetic that basically people that spent years telling us that mid-80 reviewed games are trash, are hyping up Death Stranding saying it's going to be game of the year, and it happens to be in the mid-80s. I think that's just so ironic and funny in a way. That is in no way shitting on Death Stranding. The second post was saying, look, any game that's been confirmed, pretty much confirmed in every review, to be at least 80% walking. You are delivering things in this game. That's what you do, right? And if you're into that kind of thing, fine. But I don't care who made it, PlayStation, Xbox, Kojima, or Jeebus Christ. I don't give a shit who developed it, how good it looks, what Metacritic it's at. I'm not going to play a game where I'm walking 80% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my quirk with it. Like I already paid for it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna try it. But I'm not shitting on the game when I'm saying, look, I'm not gonna sit here and spend a lot of time with a game I'm walking around in a lot. Like I'm just not. Sorry, that's the goal of the game.
Yeah, and it's a little weird that for the first time, like I read it, like I mean, Fonz, everybody here, we've all read a shit ton of the reviews. We've seen a lot of the reviews because this is a highly anticipated game. And when we were reading it for the first time, I felt like, man, these people really didn't enjoy the game, and they're trying to find an excuse to like it. That's the it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like really, they're even like, this game's a slow burn. It's not a fun game, but here's a 98. It's like, what? It's like, what are you talking about? How's
What
it
about
not fun?
100?
Yeah, or 100 or whatever the hell they gave it. I don't even remember, but it was just like, why? Like, just be honest with what it is. If it's not a fun game, like it's a game. It's supposed to be a fun game in some aspects.
Or is the
Like,
pacing if it pays off in the stories and the character, but you have to walk several hours between those moments. That's
Well,
weird.
did you see? I think it was IGN that did the review where they showed how long it takes to fast travel. Like you have
Yeah.
to go cutscene, go cutscene,
10
go
minutes.
cutscene, and then fast travel. It's like, what the what? That's not fast travel anymore.
What?
It's not. Like, what are you doing?
That's
I
extremely
don't
slow
understand.
travel.
Slow travel. It's like I don't know, man. And then there's like an hour and a half cutscene at the end, which is okay. I guess I'm watching a movie after. Like I don't know.
I think
know, man.
Kojima said he's going to start making movies after this. So
They're gonna be some terrible ass movies.
I want to hear what Rand has to think about Death Stranding. So,
Rando!
welcome,
No,
Rand, to the- Rand
I
to the
was
podcast.
enjoying listening to the show, and then I heard Dealer immediately call me out, like
Huh?
immediately, right at the beginning
What do you
of
mean?
the show.
What do you mean?
He's like, "Yeah, Rand's maybe gonna join, maybe not. I don't know." I'm like, "Oh, geez, now I gotta get here." And you know what? I'm late because I asked you earlier what your gamer tag was, and like a bitch, you blocked me.
Bro, what do you expect?
Um,
Of course I'm gonna block you. Never
So-
ask me what my gamer tag is ever.
so, I mean, I had the audacity to be like, "Hey, you want to be friends on Xbox? What's your gamer tag?" You're like, "Bitch, blocked." I
Block.
don't gotta deal with this
Well,
shit.
You know, when you're a
You know?
content creator, you can never give your gamer tag out because that's, you don't want people to know what you're doing.
It's a slippery slope to your social security number.
I know,
that's
right?
really weird. That's really weird.
Death Stranding. Death Stranding is exactly what we thought it was. Dealer made that video, which we kind of pushed him to. What was it now? A year ago? A year and a half ago? FedEx Delivery Simulator. It literally is a game where you deliver packages over empty terrain. But yet,
We saw it.
I do feel though that if it was anybody other than Kojima, this game would be trashed.
Mhm.
But because it's Kojima, and a lot of the reviews are written in a way where it's like you kind of get the sense they don't want to offend him in any way.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they want to seem smarter than they are. We're like, well, it's not fun, but there's a deeper story here. And me, a writer for Walmart Canada, I understood said deep story.
And
I'm
if
not
you
using
didn't,
that
you
for,
you
you know what I
fucking
mean?
stupid.
I know who you're talking about.
I get that sense that like that's what's going on here. And
100%.
it's and the funny thing is this game wasn't positioned as a low 80 game. Like, because a low 80 game is
No.
great. Like an 81, 82, 84, even some mid 70s are really fantastic games.
This
This
game
game,
was touted to
however-
be in the 90s. This was
Exactly.
touted to
This
be
game was
95
positioned to be game of the generation, positioned to be a 97 on Metacritic, positioned to perhaps be the highest rated PlayStation exclusive this whole gen. And then to see the backtracking, which I love to see. I love to see people eat their words. So suddenly, Kojima's team is now an indie studio that had a double A budget to make this game. Right? I love to see the backtracking.
And it's not
And
Sony's game,
it's
right,
just
Rand?
as good as it's just as good as Gears.
You
know,
want
like
like
Sony's
backtracking? Here's a little bit of more backtracking here. You've got guys that were saying when Red Dead 2 was out that they didn't like traveling across the map that way. They didn't like going across on horseback. Now you got to travel on foot carrying a bunch of packages where there's nothing to look at. No animals, no nothing. Yeah, you
No
got a bunch
immersive
of
gameplay, no emergent gameplay.
No, and
Yeah.
here's the funny thing. On all these reviews, if you read them, they talk about innovation. What is so innovative here? The fact that you have to balance packages on your back? No, thank you.
I mean, don't be jealous because you lack the balance and skill. It's not a big deal.
That's weird, man. That's look, at the end of the day, it's like this. One of the reviewers said something along the lines that this game would have been a AAA blockbuster had it not been clogged by the creator's self-importance. And that resonated with me because I see Kojima as being just that. He's just one of these guys that puts all this effort into a game as if he's some Hollywood director, and he's not. His stories are so convoluted, sometimes to the point where they make no sense. I don't care what people say out there, but look, you just looked at Metal Gear Solid 5. That thing was just so convoluted, so messy. And people are now going back and thinking, maybe it was him. Maybe it wasn't Konami that messed that game up. Yes, it was him. I mean, Kojima, I told you guys, I told you so. It's the Kojima factor. All of these reviews, they don't want to offend him at all. So they're treading lightly around him. But if you read even the most glowing review, they have a lot of bad things to say about the game. Saying it's not fun is the most damning thing that you could say about a video game.
I disagreed with you on the show several times, Fonz. I told you there wouldn't be a Kojima factor, that it would get the scores it deserved, and now I have to admit I was wrong, big time. I see.
It's one of those things where you have to look at the fact that, like I said, even the reviews that gave it 100 score, they had some negative things to say about it. And in my opinion, if you've got a lot of negative things to say in your review, that is not a perfect score.
No, definitely not. I saw those reviews too, and I was outraged. Like, how could you be saying, "Oh, the game is not fun"? But he's going out on a limb and still give it a perfect score. That's not a perfect score. Some of those scores are really skewed, which actually skewed the Metacritic. And Metacritic, not the end all be all for games. Of course, you got to play it for yourself. But at the same time, I think it's pretty clear to everybody this is not a perfect game. It's polarizing. I got to play it for myself before I can rate it. But based on what I've been reading, it seems like a high 70s. A low 80s kind of game, like maybe 80.
Let me read some of these off real quick. I don't want to leave these people behind here. We've got Aaron, who says he's playing Crackdown 3. Have fun, bud. We've also got Al Hogan, who says, "What's up, RDX? Best of the best." Thank you so much. Element of PO, who says, "XO19, woohoo." Yes, I do concur. Leo, who says, "Looking forward to Fonz's thoughts on Death Stranding, LOL." We've also got Beaner 81. Sorry, I missed it. He said xCloud is bigger than people realize. Can be used with Fast Start, which is a feature from Game Pass, which is pretty cool. Anaconda graphics, boost on Lockhart systems. There's a lot of capability here, Beaner, with the whole xCloud thing, provided latency is good, which apparently people are saying it's actually pretty damn good. Cedric H as well in the super chat, who had nothing to say, just silence. Thank you so much for the $5, sir. Another one from LNOPO. Death Stranding, game of the generation, is just okay. I guess so, man. I mean, these guys really, I don't know why they hyped it up so much. And Combo, who said Forza Horizon 4 gets a 92 meta, just a racer. Death Stranding Walk Sim gets to 84. Game of the generation, Gears of War 5 gets an 84. Time to make vids bashing it.
Yeah. Forza Horizon didn't tell any kind of story whatsoever, but it's a fun game.
It's a double standard.
Neither does Kojima. He doesn't tell any real cohesive story anyway. So
I didn't say cohesive, did I, Fonz? Let's arm wrestle.
And by the way, we've got let's arm wrestle. We've also got a couple new. I've got a couple new channel members here, but unfortunately, that stuff has absolutely flown out the window. So
what does Tim have to say about this?
I think one of them was Woomy Hood, and I think sorry, buddy, I forgot the other one, but Chrome is gone. It's gone. Tim, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think I was right where I pegged it. I said it was going to be an 82. I thought there were going to be people that didn't like the game, which definitely came to fruition. I mean, I looked at the game. I still look at the game, and it doesn't look. I even saw the commercial for it on Monday Night Football. There's nothing there. Or I'm not. I mean, I like the graphics, but the gameplay looks extremely boring. And it just doesn't look like my type of game, Definitely, I feel like what Fonz was saying, that there is definitely this Kojima, whatever you want to call it, that they're giving them, hundreds, and they're saying things like it's not fun, or they're giving these these excuses and saying it's this isn't a game, this is art. You know, a lot of stuff that was definitely peculiar that I scratched my head on. You know, I think the possibility too is the Metacritic can go down too. I know Giant Bomb has been very, you know, they've been, you know, they have a review coming, and the guy reviewing it has been saying how much he doesn't really like the game.
I was watching that earlier, man. He had so much bad stuff to say. If those guys give it anything more than a 4, I will shit my pants.
Wait a second. So that review coming out, that'll actually have effect on the Metacritic, won't it?
Yeah, it could drop it, and I thought it was funny because 1 point made all the difference yesterday, and people making fun of people, and I just had a laugh, and I didn't even get involved because it's so stupid. Because it's like I said to somebody, I said, have that same energy when it goes down. You know, Edge review. They if you remember, the guy said he was so bored he couldn't finish the game, and they're not reviewing.
He refused to review it. Yeah.
Okay.
He refused to review it. So, you know, I think it is what I expected it to be. It's not. You know, I don't think it should be. You know, lauded as a game of the year. I think
you know, scores aside, though, Tim. I mean, for people to even say game of the year, you can't have, you know, scores so polarizing. You know what I'm saying? You've got some on either side of the spectrum. You've got some scores, you know, 30 something, and then you've got 100 on the other side.
Right.
But you've got a lot of low scores there as well. And the thing about it is you take away the low scores and you take away all the scores and you just read the reviews, no matter if it's a glowing review or not. There is a lot of bad things said in every review. And that's what's crazy to me. It's like
very true.
That is not the game of the year, let alone game of the generation. Stop with that nonsense.
Fonz, I want to say real quick though. Do you think at the Game Awards that it'll get it though? Because I actually think it will get it. I think it'll be skewed there.
I don't think it's going to be there. No, I don't think it's going to get the nod. I think it might be nominated, but it's not going to get the win. It's too polarizing. There's too many reviewers out there from big sites that are saying, "Look, I wanted to like this game, but it's just bad."
I've heard more positive reviews and people actually being excited about the Call of Duty campaign more than the Death Stranding one. I've seen people enjoy the Call of Duty campaign and the story it's told and the way they kind of moved it around and all that. I've seen more positive talk about that as gamers than I have anything that the reviewers have said from Death Stranding.
I've heard the same for Outer Worlds, Soccer. I've heard a lot of positive talk in the majority. I do not, and Fonz is right. Like game of the year, a game of the year contender does not get a split decision. And I know there's a large majority more. There's like 12 plus perfect scores on Metacritic for Death Stranding, but there is quite a lot of mixed reviews, and the way people talk about it, a game as divisively reviewed as that, I don't see why it should win, but it'll definitely be there at the show. It'll definitely be nominated, and if the story is as great as some of these high praises say, it could be up there for Game of the Year.
Well, one thing that I want to say is that I don't think that the panel is being overly, critical of the game. You have to realize that we were all told, and pretty much, I think you could say industry wide, and you know, places like Reset Era and all the pundits, this game was supposed to be a 95 and was supposed to be game of the generation. I know we said this earlier, but you know, when a game is lauded like that and it's put on a pedestal like that, and it does what happened with this, you got to talk about it. And you know, it's not being critical, it's just talking about the truth. The truth of the matter is that this game was told that this was going to blow everything away. This was going to be a 95, no questions asked. Look at the pedigree. He's never had a game that went below 90. I heard it all, or whatever, or a high score. You know, so for me and everyone on this panel, I don't think it's like us playing console wars. It's just us, being real about a game that was largely hyped.
All we did a couple weeks ago, we said that, look, we heard from a few different reviewers that the game is really boring, and of course that's irrefutable. That information was correct. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. People are going to hear us even saying anything that reminds them of anything negative, and look down at their pajamas, their deputy dog pajamas, and it's going to really, really anger them that we're even mentioning the fact that this game got anything below a fucking 8 or a 9. And they're not going to go back and listen to how we talked about certain Xbox games or any of that stuff. They're kind of just really short-tempered in that way. So Kevin Lee says we're spending too much time. Good fight, by the way, Kevin Lee. Great head kick. Says we're spending too much time on the subject, and you know what? That's debatable. There's a lot to say here, but I actually kind of do agree with you, man. It's kind of complicated. Kojima is what it is. He literally made a walking simulator where the point of the game is to get from point A to point B. Don't try to say, well, Witcher's a walking. No, stop it. You sound stupid.
Can I say something real quick for a second? I want to say, most of us on the panel, like I have it pre-ordered. I know you have it pre-ordered. I'm still going to play the game, even though there's some negative reviews out there, because I want to try the game for myself and make up my own mind. So we're not just dogging the game, but based on the mixed reviews, it seems valid, because a lot of these reviewers kind of harp on the same points, and we've seen a lot of the gameplay footage and all the trailers leading up to this game, and you can pretty much make out what the gameplay is going to be. But I'm still going to give it a shot, but it's not Game of the Year, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I'm not sure any of us on this panel have a high enough IQ to understand the magnificence that Kojima is dropping upon us yet. Maybe after we finish Death Stranding and our IQ goes up because we have experienced the game and we fully understand it, then truly we can say that we've experienced greatness. But until that point, we're just peons, dude. We just don't understand.
Somebody said
true art.
Somebody said that MBG deleted all those tweets on Twitter. Yeah, I honestly don't blame him. I mean, he looked kind of silly there. We were just trying to have a conversation with the guy, and trust me, if I was going at him, it'd been a lot worse. Even though that was pretty fucking destructive.
We were being nice to him.
Me and Deal are gonna be playing Death Stranding day one. We're gonna put our money where our mouths is.
Yeah, I mean, I already said I plan on playing it just because I joke around with Zaire and say, we both know where this game should be. Like, people don't understand trolling, and they don't watch, the shows and what we said. I predicted 80 to 82. I was a little bit off there, but at the end of the day, it's Death Stranding. It is a different type of game, and that's going to be the most divisive thing about it. And I think, the panel could probably agree here.
Real quick, I just want to say that, I think all of us here on the panel, we don't even really look to Metacritic as, a standard, really. It just all comes down to ultimately what we play, if we so choose to play the game. But when you see what's going on within the game and you're being told that that's basically the game, what we've been seeing so far, if it really is not your cup of tea, then you got to understand.
But T-Drew says that if it was on Xbox, we wouldn't be complaining about it at all, even though we've complained about a ton of Xbox games.
True. And we also know Kojima's background and what he's used to doing in his games, and that kind of stuff rubs me the wrong way. Like, I don't like all the weird stuff Kojima likes to do, and we've already seen, he's putting Conan O'Brien in an otter hat and stuff in the game, like just weird stuff.
Yeah,
so I mean, weird. At the end of the day, it's one of those things where meta is not the be all end all.
Somebody's kind of coming after you a little bit, questioning you, Fonz, in the chat about how come you don't understand. How come you can't follow the storyline in Metal Gear?
You can understand the overall story. Like, okay, you got to stop.
There's a difference between not being able to follow or understand what Kojima's story. But my problem was with Metal Gear 5 and 4 was just so out there.
It's convoluted. There's a lot of characters that are involved within the whole series that make no sense, that are just really weird, and
there's a lot of unorthodox. And he does it on purpose. He likes like a really fantastical, outlandish, like kind of weird type of storyline, and characters are really exaggerated, and it's just too much for me.
And two, I gotta say something to some of these guys in the chat. Like, who the fuck do some of you guys think you are? Do you really forget that easily? I mean, Gears of War 5, a great game, 84 meta, right? I was told for weeks this game is trash by you guys. So all of you that are damage controlling this shit, shut the fuck up. Like, honestly, you look pathetic. Some people don't get it. Some people will get it. Nobody said that the fucking game is trash. It looks odd. I've said it's not for me. But don't come here acting like because we're mentioning the fact that the game isn't exactly a normal type of game, that we're doing what you guys just did a few weeks ago with Gears 5. We're not the same as you.
And the same people
had it
at 95.
Hold on, Tim. Tim, pause that 1 second. So you guys had a problem with Gears 5 with that dead open world when you're on the skiff. There weren't enough enemies to fight. but you're gonna walk on foot with a bunch of packages strapped on your back for like 5 times longer and tell me that's okay?
I'm just saying, if they had a problem with that, they should probably think again about this, right? I'm not saying that it's a problem in Death Stranding, but if you have double standards like that, don't come in here acting like we're doing some shit that you didn't just do times 1,000 a couple weeks ago.
Right. And when the same guys last week were saying 95, ha 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 ha, 95, ha 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 ha. So just shut up, sit down, and listen to the show.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously that's to the little damage controlling turd.
That's what they were saying last week. That's all I heard. Game of the year.
Oh,
it's going to be the best. 95 meta.
Oh.
Come on.
Now what happens?
Have a little self-awareness.
Hey, Don't Call Me White says, no FX FTW, thank you so much.
That's a good song, by the way.
If it drops to an 83, I think the pettiness on the Xbox side will show. I think the pettiness on the PlayStation side showed when it hit 85.
That's awesome.
So when 83 hits, and I do think that's going to happen, I think you're going to see a lot of Xbox fanboys harp because of yesterday. Yesterday was so stupid.
Yeah. They you know what, the PlayStation gamers, they back themselves into a corner all the time with this shit, and it always bursts in their face. First of all, 84 is not a bad score. I don't think that's a bad score for the game. I think it's a very playable game. In fact, I think anything over 70 is worth a play. So 84 is not a bad score.
No.
And we're not saying Metacritic is the end all to be all. I'll give you an example on Days Gone. I think it got a 71. What's it at? 71 or something?
71 or 72, yeah.
71.
We all, most of us on the panel thought that game deserved a higher rating, at least an 80. Right?
Not me.
Okay, except for soccer. and definitely that game, I thought it was higher than a 71. And that just goes to show you that Metacritic is not the end all to be all. So if you like the game, if you're excited for Death Stranding, be excited for Death Stranding. If you enjoy the game, enjoy the game. People can have a different opinion.
Yeah,
but the one thing that's constant is that this is definitely not Game of the Year. And here's what it is.
With the Metacritic, I just have to add one more thing, and that's it. And I'll shut up about this game. But the 84, when it comes to that 84 score, I believe it doesn't even deserve that 84 score. And the reason being is because if you read those 100 reviews, again, they have a lot of negative things to say. If you read the reviews that are 95, 98s, 90s, they have a ton of negative stuff to say. To me, they were just too lenient and too forgiving of Kojima to give him a bad score. And it's bullshit, honestly. At the end of the day, it should have a lower score than an 84. Yes, Fonz is going on record as saying that game is not even deserving of an 84.
And if you're talking this crap, I want you to come back to RDX in like 3 weeks and let us know if you even finished that game. I'm really surprised. Yeah. Somebody said on Twitter today, I think it was Broken Games. Said, I want people to put their PSN IDs down on paper right now because I want to check your profiles and see if you even finish this game. And I would be really interested to see if people who talk about Red Dead Redemption being too slow or talking about Gears 5 is too barren out in the open world, if they're actually going to finish Death Stranding. Maybe they will, maybe half of them won't. But don't talk the smack until you've got the game and you're playing it. Don't review the game unless you've played it. Just calm down.
You know, and I just I'm going to say this because I know we're going too long. I think people are really they're playing the Metacritic rather than the game. This is what they look forward to more than playing the game. And I think when you get to that point, you got to look at yourself as a gamer and say, what the hell am I doing? I mean, you're looking to celebrate a score rather than play the game and enjoy the game. The score means more than anything, more than the game to you. And this is a prime example. You see the people the way they're acting. It's still an 84. You still should be excited to play the game, but all of a sudden now because it's not a 95, you're all of a sudden you don't want to. You're upset and you're throwing a fit because of a Metacritic score. I mean, seriously, it's at that point where you got to really look at yourself and say, Metacritic is one thing, but playing the game and enjoying it is a completely different thing, and that's what you really should look forward to in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what's best for all of us and give Ron Hale a shout out. All right, and then after that, I'm going to say thanks to all the channel members, all of you guys who show up, check us out live, share this stuff around. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Shout out to almost 900 people watching. Artie. We do appreciate it. Let's try to hit 300 likes for the end of the show, 1,000 after the fact. If, of course, you can manage that, we do appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and kind of push things forward. Death Stranding is what it is. Not my type of game at all. Doesn't mean I'm shitting on it. You guys have said this 1,000 times as Sony fans. You've talked all kinds of shit. So I don't want to hear none of that shit, right? So we're doing a lot less than you did. And we're doing it in a much better way. Look at it that way, right? So just got to keep shit real here. So Death Stranding, 84 meta as of right now. That's a very fine score. Same as Gears 4. Personally, maybe I think Fonz has a point. Death Stranding does have more 100, scores out there than any other game this year, I think Rand pointed out. And, it's kind of odd, but at the end of the day, man, you either love it or you hate it. And I just will not love a game where I'm walking 80% of the time. Fucking sue me. Also, Hideo Kojima says that he wants Kojima Productions to basically eventually pursue film. They want to do film eventually, and that's pretty much a quote from them. So, I mean, it's kind of odd. This game does have like a 2-hour cutscene or some shit in it. There's a lot to it. So, at the end of the day, man, Death Stranding is what it is. I guess we'll figure out how that goes. We'll be playing it soon. And we'll kind of let you know what we think about that.
I think he'll be better fitted in like series. He takes too long to tell his stories. Like if you can't get your story across in like a 30-hour, 35-hour campaign, and then you have another 2 hours after that in a cutscene, I think you're better suited for TV or something.
Can you imagine like a 50-hour movie? Jesus.
A 50-hour movie, yeah. Just, here you go, guys. Enjoy.
That
Get yourself a big-ass tub of popcorn.
Hey, I want to know, I want Randolph Thor on this one. PlayStation Senior Director leaves, Rand. Tell us everything we need to know, bud. Put some gusto on it.
Gio Corsi left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the guy we're talking about? Yeah, he was he was really big into like the indie scene, if I'm not mistaken. I honestly don't know much about what Gio Corsi did at PlayStation, so I'm kind of just going off of some of the things I've seen on Twitter and like Reset Era. He was a big proponent of indie stuff. I think he was he in charge of like second party things at PlayStation, maybe like third party relationships.
I thought you were one of those I could count on you for anything.
I'm sure
Actually,
if you asked someone else,
it was second party global. So
the second party global. He was also he was a big supporter of the Vita. But yeah, it's weird because when you look at what PlayStation has done, and you have the PlayStation 5 coming out next year, we've seen a whole bunch of executives, high level people, jump ship. Like starting with Sean Layden, who still has not said a single word about why he left. Right? Then you have John Drake. He left last year. Now you have Gio Corsi. He's gone. There seems to be a lot of high-level turnover at PlayStation, especially when you're getting into the next-gen system. However, you kind of contrast that with one developer leaving Halo Infinite, and suddenly he's like, oh my god, Halo Infinite's going to be garbage. What's going on with Halo Infinite? 343's doomed. But yet you look at all these Sony executives leave, and nobody really is batting an eye. Like, oh, it's okay. PlayStation will survive. It's definitely... I would say eyebrow raising, like everything that's kind of going on when you factor in all the people that have left
and all the change.
It's definitely very something's going on there, and it's I don't know. Someone else might have something to add. Zalker, you're
it's almost
I was going to say
like they're cleaning house, right? Like they're basically doing a lot of changes to their programming. They're also getting rid of some people, so it just seems like they're cleaning house a bit. Whether or not that's a bad thing, who knows? We'll find out next generation. But right now, I'm looking at it as I'm not saying that the sky is falling on PlayStation right now because let's be honest, they're still on top. They still got games that people are really wanting to play. I myself included. They've got a lot of franchises that I love. So until they falter, I'm not going to say it's doom and gloom here either.
So I just got my mind blown. Verg Bizzle in the super chat, despite the fact that we just said we're not saying the game sucks, it's either for you or it's not. You non-listening motherfucker. He says if it sucks, why are you guys supporting it? Well, same reason that I supported Sea of Thieves. I bought Sea of Thieves. I didn't like Sea of Thieves at all. Because I need to try the game before I tell you what my fucking opinions are. If I think it's trash, right? So that's another thing. on Twitter today. People are, they run along with this negative bullshit, and they haven't even played the damn games. You know what I'm saying? So again, I feel like if you watch it back, we're not really all that negative on Death Stranding. It is what it is. It's a curious case. We'll see how it turns out.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Okay, just hide your gamer tag, hide your games playlist, and you can make up whatever you want about any game that you may or may not have played, because nobody would be the wiser. Nobody would know. You could go block your list and not play Death Stranding and say you loved it or you hated it, and nobody would know.
Or you could play about an hour of each of the top Sony games and make a whole channel surrounding that.
I'm just saying, man, dealer, it's out there. Just, click that button, make it private, make up some excuse like, I can't have people looking at my thing for whatever reason. And then you don't even have to play the game, and you can give your opinion about it, whether it's good. We definitely know a lot of people in this community that have done exactly that.
Well, if we were willing to do that, then we would have probably done what a lot of these people did too. It's just that's not what we are. That's not who we are.
Of course.
Yeah, just so you guys know, everybody here on the panel keeps our PlayStation and Xbox profiles open and public. So, I don't have to prove anything, but I like to show off when I'm finishing games or my gamer score is going up, or people will message me while I'm playing games. Hey, I see you're playing Outer Worlds. Are you liking it? And I can message them back next day. Yeah, I'm really loving it. Or what was the last game I was playing? There's a game I was playing there. Hey, you liking that? I'm like, not really. I wouldn't recommend buying it. Wait for a sale. So, I think it's good.
David Herbin gets his curb stomping. RDX said that Gears 5 was going to be in the high 90 on Metacritic. My exact prediction was around an 88. So
and mine was 87.
Again, you're probably not the smartest guy in the room, David. Don't pretend. So,
at least not an RDX fan.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It's funny. Now, I did hear, I think it was Tim saying, man, I'm hearing people reviewing it. They're saying, they've got it at over a 9. But you're making a blanket statement there too. But
you know what, though? What do you expect, dealer, when you get these guys that come in that listen to these other podcasts that like to talk a lot about us, but they don't know anything about us? They don't listen to our show. The people that are talking about us don't even listen to our show, but yet they love to speak on us.
Well, they're very salty because they, basically they were hyping up a 95 game and it fell on their face, and now that they're going to attack us, I guess.
At the end of the day, does it really matter? Not really.
No, it's all bullshit.
But
so while we digress a little, the one thing I wanted to talk about the senior director leaving is that this guy posted a shit ton on Twitter with pictures, everything, being like it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah,
being friendly. And it's like, wow, that sounds like it was a mutual, like, they decided, hey, it's time to move on, or he maybe got another offer, and it's all friendly. Sean Layden, fucking nothing.
Zilch.
Like I just nothing. So there, and I feel like since Sean Layden has kind of like left, or was whatever happened right between them, who knows? Like maybe he was that domino that like all these other people are kind of like, maybe we should leave. Maybe we should go do something else, pursue other things, because they don't like the direction Sony's going in. And sorry, people, too many high-profile people have left to not take notice and be not worried, but kind of keep an eye out on what Sony's doing next generation. It's not going to be the Sony That's all I'm going to say, is because those people are gone. The Sony that you know and love with just the exclusives and the closed-in box and all that, I don't think that's going to be happening next generation, people.
No. And I'm going to say something that really gets under a lot of Sony guys' skin, but I cannot wait for those day and date PS Now games.
No, they don't want. Actually, I was talking to my brother about this today.
They'd rather pay $60.
I was talking to my brother about this today, and he actually has PS Now, right? And I was kind of surprised because that motherfucker might as well live under a rock that's in a bunker somewhere. And I asked him about it, and he's like, well, it kind of sucks because I'm playing 2K20. And look at this dog shit. I'm not playing 2K19. That's what's at PS Now. And I'm like, well, what if I told you that, he's a big The Show fan, MLB The Show. It's the reason he's got a PlayStation over an Xbox. I said, what if I told you that came to PS Now day and date, and explained to him how it would work? And he's like, they wouldn't. I mean, he kind of took a second for him to wrap his mind around it. And then he realized, wow, that would be really cool. Neon Shinobi, by the way, thanks for $10, says Game of the Year is definitely The Outer Worlds. It is a contender, man. It's good. It's good.
I've talked to many of my friends that they're more casual, but they only have Sony consoles. And I told them about PS Now and said, would you buy PS Now? And told them what was there. And they said no. But I said, what if every new exclusive game was to come out day and date on PS Now? Immediately, they all said yes.
Yep.
So it's a no-brainer. It would definitely sell.
Bundle it with the online service. That's it. Home run.
I mean, Game Pass has already proven that shit's going to sell. I mean, I have friends that don't own an Xbox, don't own a PlayStation. They only own PCs, and they're Game Pass subscribers because they're right now. They're playing one is playing Outer Worlds right now on PC.
Yeah.
They're playing those types of games on PC, and they're enjoying it. They played Gears 4. Some of them have gone back and played other games, and I've played a shit ton of Sea of Thieves with them. So that's just what they want to do.
I think it would be massive for the PlayStation fans, to be honest. They talk a lot of shit, but PlayStation fan base loves exclusives. And let's just be honest, Sony's exclusives have been proven this generation. So you have more faith going into the next generation than we do on Microsoft. Not saying Microsoft's not cooking it up. They are. But you have more faith in PlayStation stuff, right?
No rush. Russian just said day and date makes no sense for Sony. They'll sell more at retail.
No.
Let me just say, I feel bad. I honestly feel bad for calling people like true PlayStation fans would be like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah,
because it helps them save money and it makes gaming to me better. Like you're gonna be able to afford
No Russian a cursory lesson in economics.
I don't care about I don't care to me, No Russian, if he's going to get that bad, like, why do you care how much money Sony makes, man? Like, are you sitting there like, I don't care how many $60 copies they sell. I care about how I'm going to play the game.
But also too, what people are failing to realize is that if the fan base is like 100 million strong.
Yeah.
Honestly, more than half would sign up for this service if they were day and date with online bundled in. So that's at least, let's just say 60 million people a month. Paying $10.
I know.
Do the math. That's every month.
I it's kind of my fault we delved into this conversation. It's totally departed from what we were talking about. But I just have to say that, when it comes to anything that we're paying money for as consumers, why is it that the conversation is never about what is good for me, but rather what is good for the company? Like,
or what is bad?
It's usually never like that. It's never like that, except it's just in this case.
It's weird. It's really weird to me. It's like people would rather spend more money on games than less. And it's like, I'm the total opposite, man. Maybe it's, how many years I've been.
Let me tell you, almost all of you.
I've raised all these kids, but it's like, I want consumers, wake up.
Let me tell you all you motherfuckers did wrong, right? First time someone says they'll sell more retail. Guys, you are ignoring the fact that they still sell at retail on top of the additional revenue from all these subscribers that want to play these games and services, right? You ignore the fact that Phil Spencer and Xbox has talked about how revenue and sales has increased through Game Pass, not decreased. I think it's over the long term, personally. You've ignored the fact that these developers have said our game sold 4 times more, not even only on just Xbox, but on multiple platforms because of Game Pass. These are not made up things. You can Google this. So that's really, just slap all of it down. One bitch smack, it's done. Predator H2O says, Dealer Gaming, do you think there is a correlation between some of these lower scores on PlayStation and some of the people leaving? No, sir, I do not. But it'll be very interesting to see why these people are leaving. That's what I'm most curious about.
Yeah, why leave when you're at the very pinnacle of the PlayStation career?
Because the competition, and they're not going to be at the pinnacle next generation. The pinnacle, we don't know who's going to be at top. We're not saying Xbox or anybody, but the competition is way more stiff. There's a lot more people out there. I said it in my latest video that Sony and the price and all that for the console and everything, like, you got to understand that, like, I know people don't like Stadia or xCloud, but that takes away the price of a console. That's a gatekeep to play games. $500 that some gamers can't afford. And it sucks, some people are in situations where they can't afford that. And that's the whole point of the Stadia and all that. They can reach those people. But I don't know, like, leaving to me means that they know that maybe this is the best time to leave because we are literally the best. We are at the top. There's nowhere more up. It's only down from here. And I'm not saying down like, oh, they're going to crash and burn. I'm just saying that it's not going to be as good as it is now. They probably have the best job offers they're probably going to get for years, and they're taking them. That's just what happens.
Oh, yeah, that could be. I mean, Sean did say that they're never guaranteed to win a consecutive generation. They still never have. We took it from them, and Xbox 360 took it from them. Yeah, it's interesting.
Well,
I was just going to say real quick, seeing what Microsoft is doing lately with the Coalition, with Gears 5, and now with Obsidian and Outer Worlds. Even though it's multiplat, it's still an Obsidian game owned by Microsoft, published by Microsoft. So at the end of the day, seeing what they're doing and going forward to next generation, it's obvious to us, to PlayStation, to everybody out there that competition is stepping up. Yeah. Microsoft is definitely stepping up. Yeah. The games that we've got recently this year are really, really good from Microsoft. And I think they can only go up from here. And you're right, Zocker, when you were talking about these guys leaving while they're on top, because I don't think they're going to be, they may be on top next generation, but I don't think it's going to be as high above Microsoft as it once was this gen. You know, I really don't.
Well, I think. Listen, I think when you talk about all this moving around, and also one of the other people was the Sony of Europe. I forgot, or he was a Japanese guy. I forgot his name, but he was pretty high level. I think what you have here is you have restructuring going on. I think Sony of America or Sony Interactive of whatever their SIE, they have the United States and then they have the Europe. I think that the downsizing the Europe side, and they're pretty much making the American SIE the pretty much the focal point. And I do think that Layden was a little bit of the old guard. You know, he didn't believe as much as most believe with the cloud, and maybe not as much as, he wasn't really bullish on PSN now, but now you see it. And I think that you saw Jim Ryan, kind of, he was the guy in the background saying, we have to get our act together. You see what Microsoft's building, you see what Stadia is doing. I think what you're going to see next gen is, I do think you're going to see pretty much Xbox and Sony doing the same thing. I think that you're going to see PSN now. The day and date thing probably going to come. It makes sense for them. And, even though it's a topic for further on, just the point was that the Xbox Game Pass has seen crazy growth in the last couple of months, and that's per Phil Spencer. And the reason is because these heavy hitters are now coming into the service. It's coming in day and date. So the same thing is going to happen, and that's what I think it is. I just think that there were people that were like, let's be traditional, let's not follow the competition. But I do think Jim Ryan and his mindset of kind of having their own cloud, having their own play it anywhere, and having games go to PC and games going day and date on their service is definitely coming. I think that's where they're building.
It's all pretty interesting, Tim Dog. Hey, we've got App Cool J. He says, I listen every week. Don't always speak up, but I do love the show, guys. Others Inc. says, this show is absolutely excellent, by the way. NASCAR Aloe says, best show on YouTube. Thank you so much, man. Others, just a few others saying, hey, we need to move the topic. I agree, man. But you got to understand and try to look at it from my perspective. We got a whole panel here, and I want everyone to be able to talk. It's kind of a complicated thing. And no matter how fucking clear we are, there's always some guy that will literally pay $2 to look dumb because we literally just said the opposite of what he said in his super chat. So that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with here. Just try to put yourselves in our shoes here. Also, shout out to Noob Nukem.
Yeah, Noob Nukem. Real quick, what was the dominating market leader console of last generation?
The Wii.
Wait.
The Wii, the Wowie.
360. Why?
Yeah, it was the Xbox 360. The Wii sold the most, but for the big gaming space against PlayStation, Xbox 360 was far and away the market leader. And these guys are trying to tell me that after the generation ended, PS3 got ahead 2 million consoles in sales. That's
I wouldn't call it far and away.
Well, here's the thing. Well, the PS3 sold a lot of consoles to people who were Blu-ray aficionados. It wasn't even about gaming for a lot of people who bought PS3s. I myself was more into the 360, and when I first bought a PS3, it was for a Blu-ray player.
Yep, same here.
Yeah, and most everything was reviewed on the Xbox 360. Everything was built for the 360 first, and yeah, it was a totally different thing. And they screwed it up with the Kinect at the end, and then the Xbox One devastated everything that Microsoft had built for the Xbox. So, I mean, that's old news. Dealer, what's our next topic?
I don't know. Hang on.
Let's make one up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move it forward. And I know Rand had something he was going to kind of
Why gamers hide gamer
before
tags?
Fonz kicked Rand in the teeth and said, "Fuck you, bitch." I know he's going to say something, but I'm sure they kind of wrapped it up. But it is what it is, man. We got back. God, we were back on Death Stranding, kind of, huh? Holy shit!
No, we weren't.
Moving on.
What were we just talking about, man? I fucking zoned
We're
out.
talking about the.
We were talking about the senior
executives and
director
leaders.
leaving. We just wrapped up. The
You know
senior
what? That was just
director
a test, fuck faces. It's all good. So we've got Outer Worlds. Digital Foundry, go through Outer Worlds. And we want to cover this real quick because this is kind of interesting. Digital Foundry go through the Outer Worlds analysis here. And let us know what you think in the chat, too, because while Microsoft do own Obsidian, they did not own the rights to the first game. They do own the rights for all the other ones. And they did say that they want to lock those down to the Xbox ecosystem. So expect that true first-party treatment. But Digital Foundry saying there's some kind of maybe potentially oversights here causing Pro to have, and we're talking about grass, yes, goddammit, grass here, okay? But causing Pro to have more foliage and stuff like that, and you did pay $100 more to the X, and you do like to see that maximized. You did get 4K, or whatever, is it 4K some of the time, and at a much higher resolution other times, but better performance overall, but it's kind of odd, because people, again, they literally harping on grass again, because the X, out of the 300-something games that are enhanced, they've got 4 or 5 where the Pro does something better, and maybe a couple where it's like, okay, they did not even fucking try on the X enhancement at all. Colt, I know you were kind of heavily involved in this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I might as well clear the air. A week before the game came out, I said the best version will be on PC and the Xbox One X. I expected it to be close to native 4K. I didn't even make that claim, but I did say the best looking and playing version will be on the PC and the Xbox One X. And the game came out, and there's less grass on the Xbox One X.
Less grass.
So the other problem is they're trying to push native 4K, so it dynamically scales down to as low as 1500p, and hovers. 1592. Yeah, which is a regular number we saw in Battlefront 2 and some other games. But they used a dynamic resolution that they said wasn't aggressive enough. So frames dropped 2 more frames out of 30 than the PS4 Pro. And the PS4 Pro has more grass. So leave that up to you if you think that's
wow.
the version.
I played through the whole game, I beat it, and I did not really notice any frame dips, and that's crazy.
You're not going to notice
it looks great.
27 to 30, but hitches
me,
you will notice, yeah.
To me, the game looks really great, really vibrant and stuff. The only knock I had on it was that there's no HDR. That is the one knock I had on this game.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs HDR. And by the way, that's the footage you see on screen now, which, if you've noticed, I don't know, let me know if you like kind of the darker theme here. I mean, it is a darker overlay for the podcast now. But,
I think it looks really good.
It's pretty relaxed, but this is Outer Worlds footage, and obviously I can't upload it at a higher bit rate because of my internet, but, it still looks pretty decent for a live stream.
I do think it's going to...
Looks good.
Oh, look at that guy blown apart. Sorry.
What were you saying, dude?
They get patched pretty quickly, though. That's kind of odd. They'll be on top of it in the next few weeks. We'll probably see a patch that'll rectify that.
That's too late. I'll be done with it.
He said, "It's too late. I'm fucking out."
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's kind of funny about the lack of grass. You have better texture filtering on the ground texture. I guess.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We wanted to cover that and kind of address that real quick because it is kind of curious, but hopefully they do patch that.
I don't miss a blade of grass or two. I don't miss it.
Well, it's more than a blade of grass or two, and I guess it's less than it's not really about that as much as getting the most out of the hardware you're paying for. So hopefully they do patch it. And honestly, the people are still saying the X is the best version still, because it is running at, at a noticeably higher pixel count stuff. So I don't know, but there's some frame things, and who gives a shit at the end of the day, really? I just want to bring that up and let you guys know what's going on there. Red Dead 2 finally came to PC. I want to talk about this real quick. Thanks to about 900 people watching us live, guys. Hit that like button, share us out if you can. 300 for the show, 1,000 after the fact. Thank you so much for what you do. Red Dead 2 came to PC, and guess what? PC Master Race are on their knees right now. Hey, we several of us here got really capable PCs. I don't give a shit to play it on PC. I played it a year ago. Who's D-Batch? What's going on with this Red Dead 2 port from Rockstar? They just thought, well, the X is doing native 4K, so obviously my PC is going to be doing 8K.
I don't know. I Rockstar always, when they do the PC port, they add all these new features in, and Grand Theft used to be a really taxing game to test your system, and I think this is the new crisis. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be the new can it run it game, at 4K, and I got a really capable rig. I have a 3900X, I have it overclocked, I have a Radeon 7, and 4K ultra settings. I'm getting 35 frames per second on average. Like sometimes I might get 37, 38, but on average it's 35 frames per second, which in reality is not much higher than the Xbox One X. Although the settings are higher, still at the cost of the frame rates, I'm basically playing the game at 1440p to get 60 frames per second at ultra, or you can play it at 4K but use a resolution.
But don't you remember all these people saying that I'm going to be doing 4K 60 on my GTX 1080, fuck a 2080, 1080.
I was really expecting to get 4K 60, and some people might say, oh, you have a Radeon 7. It's the second fastest card. Okay. RTX 2080 Ti. I looked at a lot of benchmarks, and the most they're getting is like 40 frames per second on a really.
How much is that card?
At ultra settings. So
how much is that card?
Really demanding, man.
How much is that 2080 Ti?
In Canada, it's like freaking $1,500. I think in the States, it's like $1,100 to $1,200. So that's a pretty hefty card. And of course, you got to factor in the whole system. Basically, you're going to need two 2080 Ti's to run this game at 4K 60. So I think it shows well for Microsoft what they got out of the Xbox One X with Red Dead Redemption 2, because that game looks fantastic.
Before you get too technical or anything, I just want to say that is the reason why personally, like for me, I am not, and I'm not hating on it, but I'm just not a big PC gamer. I don't like it. I rather play on these consoles because what we, get is what we get. And usually it's a pretty good version of these games. I mean, unless it's like just poorly made, but too many variables for me with PC, different parts and everything, different manufacturers and stuff. I just don't want to deal with that headache.
Yeah.
I have a Ryzen 2700X. That's a $300 CPU last year, and a 1070, which is a mid-range card. I was running Outer Worlds at 1440p 60, and I was getting hitches and holdups and stuff. And I'm like, 60 frames is nice, but I don't want to replay the game like this because it's not Play Anywhere, because it came in to Microsoft's court late. But I'm enjoying it on the X. It looks great.
Yeah, I haven't even booted it up on the PC yet. I got a shout out to Mo Cool Kid. Thank you for the shout out, brother. We've also got who's that? Straight Duval. He says, Dealer, do you guys ever mention this to developers? You have to be much more specific, man. There's like a 30-second delay, so by the time that pops up, we're on to something else. You know what I'm saying? So
what was his question?
Something about mentioning something to developers who didn't specify.
I should specify. Somebody in the chat said, I can't believe the X didn't come through on Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Outer Worlds. No, that's the developer didn't come through.
Yeah, the X, there's nothing about the X that should give the Pro any advantage whatsoever. And Chris in the chat is asking about the crashing. We covered the crashing last week. We don't have enough time to go over all that again. But yeah, we did cover the Modern Warfare stuff last week. We're going to move on, and I want to start that with something really interesting, because, again, a lot of people say that, hey, PlayStation games, locked down to one platform, blah, blah, blah. Just to let you know, people don't share your mindset. Cory Barlog, creative director of God of War, says he would love to see God of War come to PC. Does that mean it's going to happen? Of course, not. But he definitely wants to see that happen. Just something to really think about. I don't want to sit on this one. I just want to throw that out there, a little grenade, and let you know that, hey, the guy who made the best game of the generation, in my opinion, I've said this before, I think God of War is the best game of the generation. He wants this game on PC. And guess what? It would be better on PC. More flexibility, more options. I don't prefer the PlayStation ecosystem, so I would play it on PC over the PlayStation, right? That's just how I am. Yep. So, God of War, great game. Cory Barlog, he would like it to be on PC. And technically, and through PlayStation Now, it kind of is, huh?
Yeah.
Zalker, BlizzCon 2019, real quick. Round that up for us.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know, Mike Ibarra works at Blizzard now, and they just did the BlizzCon thing, right?
Yep, they did, and they did a lot of people love it. A lot of people loved BlizzCon this year. They didn't fucking put a phone game out there. They announced Diablo 4. They showed a shit ton of gameplay, which looks like the true successor to Diablo 2, which I'm fucking excited for.
Yeah,
I watched
Diablo.
I had this whole this guy put this whole I don't know 2 hours of it, and he put it up online. You know, he's a big channel, and I watched all of it. And it looks amazing. They're not messing around. They said that they've kind of admitted that Diablo 3 was kind of like a sorry kind of thing, and it's way more. No, it wasn't. And
It
they
was
just
fun, dude.
and so this guy, everybody that they're talking to, have enjoyed Diablo 4. People that are hardcore fans love it. So I'm looking forward to that. They said it's far away, though. They said it's even far away for Blizzard standards because they're not going to mess it up. They say it's years away. So they said do not. They just basically were like, stop. They announced Overwatch 2, which is coming out, which, again, looks pretty cool. Can't wait to see it. It's a full-blown sequel. And they talked about that a little bit.
Zocker, does it have a story mode?
Really? I just heard
they have PvE elements in it.
I heard they're just adding story mode and basically 2 new characters, and that was it.
Rand kind of summed it up, right? Rand, you know about
Overwatch 2 is basically a PvE update that you got to pay for.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the deal.
So
Because,
that's D-Batch's WWE 2K dream.
So basically, Overwatch 2. So Overwatch 2 is going to come with these story missions, these 4-player co-op stuff. That'll be exclusive to Overwatch 2. But the PvP elements of Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1 will be combined. So they're not going to leave everyone they don't want to splinter the community. So basically, the only thing new that Overwatch 2 is going to give you is those co-op missions. Otherwise, the PvP is exactly the same.
And they're basically doing what a lot of people and developers have kind of flirted with, basically making the multiplayer free, because multiplayer being free has been very successful with, if you look at Fortnite and all these other games, Apex. They're doing that while if you want PvE, well, you pay for it.
Well, hold on, free. It ain't free. It's $60. What are you talking about?
Which one?
And you got to pay Overwatch. Overwatch isn't a free-to-play game.
No, it's not. But isn't 2? Didn't they flirt with it? They kind of talked about it.
Well, aren't they? Yeah.
Unless I missed that.
Aren't they
I'm assuming.
I could have sworn somebody said something, or not people at BlizzCon, kind of like Blizzard wasn't really sure about it. They were kind of oh, we'll see. Just like they didn't say MMO for Diablo 4, even though it has a lot of MMO elements.
So it's more, the people at BlizzCon said Diablo 4 was more like Path of Exile than like a full blown MMO. But as far as I know, they didn't mention anything about Overwatch's multiplayer going free to play. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it's just going to be just like.
I mean, I might be wrong too.
You have Overwatch 2, and it'll be a free update to those who own, Overwatch 1. Basically,
it's going to cost something. They don't know what the price is going to be as of yet.
It's an interesting approach at the very least. Johnny Lasagna says Ed Colton, the original Xbox from time to time. Thank you so much, sir. I've also got a new channel member here. One sec. I don't know how to pronounce this. Bin Smokin. Thank you for becoming a channel member.
Smokin'.
If you want to become a channel member, look down there, hit that like button or hit that join button, and become a channel member today. A bunch of emojis. Cold Eastwood made these up. They're really, really cool. Shout out to Immortal Jedi. So Shady in the chat. We've also got Slipheed, No Russian. No Russian's come a long way. I saw him say something. I'm proud of him. I'll give you a gold star later. Don't Call Me White, of course. We've got, if this thing would go away, J-Force Games. Thank you so much. And, of course, Xbox. Xbox.
I have a question for Rand. Your progression or your game, like say your character that you've built up, is that going to carry over to 2, or is it going to be a completely new, rating system?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, all I know is that they're Jeff Kaplan said they're not splitting the community. Mm-hmm. He fought long and hard with Activision about it because Activision originally was like, "Yo, Overwatch 2 is completely brand new," and he said that was the wrong thing to do, and it took him forever. But he got Activision to agree to that. So the multiplayer was going to be, the same. Nobody would get left behind. But they did come out, like how Zocker mentioned Diablo 4, long ways away.
God.
However, it was announced that it would be coming to the Xbox One and PS4, just like Overwatch 2.
Ew.
So,
and it's going to be next gen console.
Seems So Elite said he played Need for Speed Heat today, and it was pretty fun.
Really? How'd you play that?
Do tell.
EA Access. versions
Oh, really?
up.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've heard. I was reading a bunch of impressions. It's about as mixed as you can get.
So,
Trash to decent.
Wow, sounds like Death Stranding.
I don't know. It's not like
Oh,
there's
no-
anything else to play until Jedi Fallen Order, right? So,
I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah, Jez left you a super chat, dealer.
go ahead and read it, Ren.
Jazz.
Go ahead and read it. I'm nowhere near it right now.
Jez, shout out to Jez Corden, who I do the Xbox 2 with every single week. Windows Central writer. He says, "Hey, dealer, talk about Rand having to play Pokemon Sword and Shield."
Yes. Hi,
Hey,
Jess.
hey, everyone. Rand had to play Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Jez Mega Devo says Xbox is trash.
Yeah,
just looked on
Jez
that.
is trying to make me play Pokemon Sword and Shield because I never played one. He's trying to guilt me into doing it by raising money for charity.
You did get more
You've never
votes
played a
for
Pokemon game at all?
Never played a Pokemon game.
Not even
no.
like Red and Blue? Like
Never. I have never played a Pokemon game in my life.
You got more votes for Pokemon than you did Death Stranding. I'm just saying there was a poll today. So
dude, Pokemon
Jeff
Red
is
and
onto
Blue
something.
back in the day was awesome. I remember that. I played the shit out of those.
remember when you were 3,
By the way-
soccer?
Yeah, I was young. I was
Really talking about
elementary
Pokemon.
school.
Are you gonna do it, Rand?
He's pretty much being like, we're gonna put together this huge charity thing. It's gonna be for the kids. You wouldn't say no to dying kids,
For the
would you? And I'm
kids.
like, I
Jesus.
feel like I'm
Is that
getting,
necessary, Randall?
You're
Jeez.
getting railroaded.
I feel like if I say no, I'm a horrible person.
Well, you are.
Well, you are.
Do you have anything?
he said
you-
You are.
That's
Okay,
funny.
so you got a super chat here from Johnny Lasagna PDX. He said, "Dealer, will I get a 60 frames per second mode on the Scarlett for Destiny 2?" I could answer that and say you should.
That'd be nice, right? Jez, I just made you a mod. You know why? Because I want to keep tabs on you.
Yeah,
I'm
no
nosy.
kidding. Is Destiny locked frame rate though? So it probably wouldn't.
Well, they'll have to patch it.
They'll patch it.
They'll have to patch it. But you know what? We have to patch it because we're on this topic too long.
Wait, somebody asked us why we were damage controlling about day and date on PlayStation Now.
How's that damage control? That's literally telling you what's going to happen. If it takes 5 or 10 years, either way, we're going to be right. It's just inevitable. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Over 900 people watching live, guys. Hit that like button. Let's try to smash through. I guess we're already past 300. Fuck it. Let's get to 1,000 after the fact. Share this out for us. We do appreciate it. Let's move on to the next topic. BlizzCon's out. Good job covering that real quick. EA remasters. This is actually a good thing. I wanted to throw this out there because EA are promising exciting remasters of fan favorites. Now, first and foremost, I just want to throw this out there. Mass Effect. All right? EA, if you're listening, Mass Effect. Also, Dead Space, EA. Dead Space. Remember that thing you murdered? Dead Space. Have someone remake that.
What if they remake Mass Effect Andromeda instead?
Oh, dude, shut up.
Oh my God.
I don't want to hear that. I want
They
to
just patched Mass Effect Andromeda.
This isn't like remakes. These are remasters, right? They're just gonna take the same.
Yeah,
You know what it's gonna be? Crisis 1.
I think it'll be I mean, if it's Mass Effect 1, 2, they need to do a Mass Effect
know.
trilogy, right? Those games are legendary,
know.
just like the Bioshock stuff. They literally need to go in and redo like Mass Effect 1 combat because it is so horrible. I don't know if you guys remember.
This is a fucking. I feel like this is kind of like them going, "Oh well, we fucked up in the last couple games we brought out, and they haven't done well, and Anthem flopped, and all this shit's
Same
happening.
one.
Let's just go back and put the safe bet and make her." I don't know. I don't really like that, to be honest. With you.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't like
I
it
mean-
either.
They do have Jedi Fallen Order coming out though.
Come
so-
on, though.
I
I
mean,
mean, if you're
I mean,
a Mass
I'm looking
Effect
forward to
fan,
Jedi.
I don't see why you'd have a problem with this. Because you know that's one of them.
You got to see how much they're doing though.
I've been screaming for a Mass Effect remaster or
Yeah.
remake for a while. The trilogy, 1 through 3. I don't want anything to do with Andromeda, but the
But
first
this doesn't sound like it's going to be just those games. Like if they do like a remaster of like just Mass Effect and I would say Dead Space because I think Dead Space is fucking amazing. I'd be like, okay, but this sounds like they're going to go back and go deep into the well and grab a couple.
Hey,
games.
somebody
And I'm
in the
dude,
chat just said Lone Star said Bad Company 2. I agree. That too.
Yeah,
that's
we
a
all
good,
agree on
good,
that.
Good. That's a good choice.
Yes. Which is something we had heard about for quite
But
some time.
But something, it's type of thing is, do you guys want the same existing engine that just has like, upgraded?
No, I'm with Dealer. Take the engine from Mass Effect 2 and totally rebuild Mass Effect 1 with that I don't.
No,
it can't
like
do
just
it because it's
rebuild
so
it
heavily-
everything in the newest engine. Like, there's no reason
Yeah,
to use
just-
any of that old stuff.
But I don't
That-
want them to
that
get rid of
con-
the
That's-
elevators in Mass
that's
Effect
what-
1. Added
That's
person-
what I would like. I wouldn't like them to just try to rehash an existing code.
You know,
I
D
want
Batch, do you
new-
think if we tried really hard and started a big ass petition, that they would extend the elevator scenes?
I don't know, man. But the remastered Mass Effect, that's number one of mine. And that's
T-Batch
one of
just
my
wants to stay in
favorite
Planet
all-time
forever.
games.
So good.
Yes. Mass Effect's legit, man.
D, I gotta know, D, did you make a Commander Shepard that looked just like you?
I don't think I could put the dreads in it, but he wasn't one.
No, I made mine look like a young Burt Reynolds. He looked really good. Anyway, yeah, that wasn't weird.
Young Burt, like Fonz has some fetish, young Burt Reynolds.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
that wasn't weird.
Somebody said, "Why are you guys pretending like you can't lower settings?" We didn't give a fuck enough to mention it. We weren't on the subject long enough. Who cares? It's really demanding. Like, it doesn't matter if you play it all at medium. It's still really demanding.
I talked to
so
a
You're talking
friend
about Red Dead Redemption?
yeah, well,
Yeah,
these
dumbed it
people
down.
comment on.
Just go look at the benchmarks. If a 2080 Ti is getting 40 frames per second ultra settings, yes, you can put it down to medium and some settings to low, and you can get a decent frame rate. That's not the point. That's not why we play on PC, to play at freaking medium. We want to play at ultra,
You know,
especially if you have a top
And
end
you know
rig.
what?
God
You
damn,
know what?
Fonz, let a
Somebody
man
told my-
finish. Jesus Christ. Now, D-Batch, are you done? I mean, I felt like you had more in you.
Well, these guys are idiots. Half of these guys talking this
I want
shit.
to. I
they
want
have
to
like a
play on low.
fucking
I want to
480.
play on
Come
low settings with my $1,100 video.
So yeah, you want to take $1,000 graphics card, play on medium. Makes a lot of sense.
I had one guy tell my friend today, he's like, all you have to do is go into Windows, disable and programs, and delete all the DLLs and remove, all this stuff's like, holy
Of
crap.
course, delete season 4 of Gossip Girl off the DVR, and you're good. And you're good to go. Let's go
Don't
ahead.
delete it, dude. I haven't seen it.
Let's go ahead and move forward. EA remasters. We'll see how that goes. Gears of War 6 expanding. Apparently, they're speaking on this already as well. Gears of War 6 will continue to build on player choice, which is a good thing if you've beaten Gears of War 5. If you haven't, you're a fraud. It'll continue to build on player choice because you do make a big choice in Gears of War 5. It'll continue to expand on the open world, and it'll also continue to build on the branching stories. Which Randolph Thor, what do you make of this? How much further can they go? I mean, do you even think the last decision you made, without spoiling it, even means anything? All right, Brandon.
I got a question. Oh, go ahead.
He's thinking.
Go ahead.
I don't know where
Fonz.
he is.
Brandon needs time
No.
to think.
Answer. Oh,
All I
was
want
gonna
to say is
I
that
got a question.
I was kind of pissed off that I had to even make a choice in the first place, man. That choice was fucking brutal.
I know,
Will it
right?
be as bad? Will it be as bad as that 84 Metacritic? That was just terrible.
The choice at the end is get an 84 or 87 with no
I don't
multiplayer.
even know what the Metacritic is on those games. That's how great life
Randolph Thor, I know you're biding time. Hurry up, come on.
Kill
Kill that dead air. Kill that dead air.
I've honestly blanked, dealer. What was the question?
Wow. Rand's playing
I blanked.
Pokemon.
I'm
So,
sorry.
so let me.
No,
pick
I'm
up
not playing
Rand's-
anything. I
let me
just
pick
don't.
up-
I hate when that happens,
Completely
man.
blanked.
Gears of War
let
6
me
will
pick up
continue to
Rand's.
build on player choice, open world, and of
Gears
course
6? Oh, that?
branching story stuff. Yeah.
I mean, no shit. They're going to be.
But that wasn't my
continuing
question.
To do exactly all the choice. You want to know about?
Do you think that
specific
the choice from 5 even mattered, and how do you think they'll even
Yeah, that's a
tackle
good
that without
question.
spoiling it?
Jeez, man. I honestly wish they made the choice for us, because when I think, because part of me thinks they kind of chickened out, and like they didn't want to make that decision themselves, right? Like I think they wanted to write off one character, but they didn't have the balls to do it. So they give you this choice to kind of make it seem like, oh well, Kate had some sort of decision making in this, right? But now you think about Gear 6. Well, now you got to choose which one's alive.
He really did spoil it anyway. I'm just
Damn,
like,
Rand.
oh,
Which one is
You did it.
which one likes spaghetti or which one
one's
likes
in?
pizza?
But
Are you
thing
getting the
is, it's like,
meatballs or your SpaghettiOs or not?
unless
they
unless
can
there's
figure out what
so
you did.
there's a couple ways that they can do, right? They can make a canon ending, which no matter what you chose in Gears 5, this is what happened, which would invalidate probably half of the people and what they chose at the end of Gears 5, which
Or 25%.
I'm not a fan of. Or then they have to dedicate some of their resources and money to having some of the scenes with some character and then the other scenes with the other character, and things are play out differently in the next game, so people have a different experience.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of that. I wish they would have just chose one.
You just
No,
have
just
commitment
stick to their
issues.
guns.
Rand, they've done this in 100 other games where you have to make a choice, and in the sequel, that choice does move on to the next. Mass Effect is one of those.
Mass Effect is also presented as an RPG, and at the end, guess what? None of your choices mattered.
Well, that's at the end of the third game, Rand. There was an illusion for quite some time.
Just
You
saying.
lost a lot of people in Mass Effect 2 that didn't carry over to 3.
Exactly.
But in the first game, I don't think you lost anybody.
But my
it was the
point
second
is,
game.
it happens in other games. So
Not
I
many
mean, you
games.
can very well do that.
RPGs maybe that have a
But they can do that.
branching storyline. I don't
That's
know,
just-
but like I don't know. I feel like there was a clear character they wanted to get rid of, but they were fearful of the backlash that they would get if they did that. And so they presented this choice thing, and now they either have to say it's canon, or one of the endings is canon, or they have to completely go with the next game and have two different scenarios and different voice acting and different things playing out. I think it's a little bit too complicated for them.
That is
to
not
be
too complicated. It's been done.
Yeah,
before.
I think so.
I agree with Fonz.
What
agree
do
with
you
Fonz.
mean by when you say it's canon? I don't know what that word.
I mean, just this is what happened. Despite what you chose, say this is what happened.
This is the official story.
Most stuff in Gear 6, most of the character that would be along with you and in some of the in-engine cutscenes could be the same actor, but they switch out the voice and the face in the sequel. So Fonz is right.
Wait,
it
hold
could
on.
be done, and they really painted themselves into a corner. I half agree with you, Rand, that they didn't quite want to make a certain decision, so they left it up to you. But I also half believe they felt like it was a good idea to give you a really hard, difficult decision and close out the game with you feeling like you were invested at some point. And I think there was an we'll never see the numbers, but I think 75% of gamers chose one option and the other chose.
Well, I think the way around it for them is honestly throughout the whole game as you're playing as Kate, you start hallucinating and you start seeing dreams. I think that's going to play into it because I was playing Kate the whole time when I was playing with Lethal Papa. Shout out to Lethal. We played the whole game together.
Shout out to Lethal.
The whole thing. And I told him every time she hallucinated, I was like, dude, are you seeing this? And he's like, seeing what? And he's like, I don't see nothing. So if you play as Dell's perspective, you see reality. But if you play as Kate's perspective, you start seeing other shit. So I think that's going to play into the ending a lot. If you haven't played the game by now and beaten it, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
it's been like 2 months.
there's a
I know the whole
time,
spoiler thing.
you just gotta be a real gamer.
There's also this aspect, the extended media. There was a Gears book before this came out. There was Gears comics. So what I'm saying is you have to kind of present a canon choice for your extended media because they can't do pick an ending. It's either one person's alive or the other person.
Let me ask you this, Rand.
You can't have it. What?
Or let me ask you this. Pokemon or Gears comics?
Dealer got dark.
Look, Dealer, I hate you sometimes.
All right.
You know that, Dealer?
I like it.
No. So Others Inc. says I'm starting bad Xbox rumors.
I agree, Others Inc.
Excuse me, Others Inc. You better shut up before I, activate my banhammer powers.
Hey.
I didn't say this is what I was told. This is literally
Rand
what I
loved the
think.
game.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I'm just saying, I personally, I wish they made the choice for you, so it would be consistent across media, so everybody can kind of have the same experience. I don't like the fact that they left the choice up to you because now it's a big question mark hanging into the extended media. People are going to have maybe a potentially different experience with the next game depending on who they chose or who they didn't.
The mystery be excited for once about the mystery of the next Gears game. Like
there's been so many games where your choices mattered like this. In the sequels, it mattered.
Choices barely matter in game spawns. Do you even have free will? I don't even know.
how many Telltale games have you played where your choices didn't
Choices
matter?
barely matter in the Telltale games either.
But they do.
No, they don't.
In the games, you lose people in the games.
He
and you
ran throwing
cannot
the
play
ninja
them
stars and doing
legally.
backflips and
They don't
shit.
Played all
matter.
the Telltale games. The choices barely
In the
matter
end,
because you
you could
always
say-
end up in the same
In
spot.
the end,
either
you could
lose-
say, but in the end, you could say the same thing with this game, that your choice doesn't ultimately matter in the next game. Yeah, sure, that player isn't going to be there just like these other games. I totally disagree with you here. I think this brings unique experiences for each gamer. I
Fonz
think
and I read the Choose Your Adventure books growing up. Like, this is the same thing. Like,
Same
in
thing.
the end, it has to diverge to a closing, but video games allow them to have a custom ending. I remember the Choose Your Adventure books. There was 3 different pages for the ending. I used to go and read the end too of all the 3 different endings. And this is how video games work. And I think Fonz is right. It can be done, and it's going to give them a challenge, and it's going to make it exciting. They painted themselves into a weird corner. They did it for a reason.
You know
and
what go ahead.
I made the right choice, I think.
You know what the most the best choice we can make right now is to go ahead and
Moving
move
on.
forward.
Yeah, great.
DJ wants us to bring up the fact that PlayStation View is going under. Basically, PlayStation View shutting down January next year. Did you guys cover that tonight? No, we didn't, because it's very hard to care about that at all. But you know, it is kind of interesting. It's not a very old service, so
They weren't making
yeah.
enough money on it, so they shut it down.
Yeah,
See,
so
They
fuck it.
advertised the shit out of that.
So
too.
fuck
I saw
it, we're
so
out.
many commercials.
EA talking next generation as well. Battlefield 6 will release for PS5 and Xbox Scarlett, according to EA, after the install base grows, which kind of goes into further information of another Star Wars game coming out, I do believe 2020 they're talking about. They're really gearing up a lot for next generation. These are just a few of the different games that are going to be releasing for PS5 and the Scarlett as well. Battlefield 6, I'm sure will look insane. I really want it to be modern day. I really want to spawn in my base and see tanks on the ground, helicopters on the ground, just like the old Battlefields. I want all those attachments and camos and all this shit back, because there really hasn't been a real Battlefield to me this whole generation. It's really unfortunate, but I am looking forward to, and it's kind of odd they're talking about install base, because both Microsoft and Sony are not ditching you can pretty much guarantee that Sony are doing cross-gen stuff too. They've all but confirmed it unofficially, right? And Microsoft have already talked about that they're going to be doing that.
But this might confirm that maybe some developers are not going to be programming for those systems. Maybe the Battlefield 5 is aiming for something more. Maybe they're trying to do something where only the CPUs of the next generation consoles can handle it. And they're just going to aim for that. And they're just like, fuck it, we're going to go for the best performance and have this crazy freaking game come out and set a standard of what we want a Battlefield game to be. Because lately, Battlefield hasn't been like they have to reevaluate something. I enjoyed Battlefield 5 because of the World War II.
Well, the technology isn't Battlefield's problem right now. I know that.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I think that they're going to reevaluate. I'm glad that they said it's going to take a little while to come out, because I want the next Battlefield to be fucking insane, right? 5, I know it was a disappointment to a lot of people. I enjoyed it, but I'm glad that they're going to go to the drawing board for a few years and put more time and effort into this game, and hopefully bring out a full-fledged Battlefield game.
I think the jump that we're getting next generation, I think some of these companies, they're gonna have the cross-gen shit going, but I think they're gonna concentrate on the main console, and they'll be like, all right, it runs on the Xbox One X technically, or it runs on the PlayStation. I don't think it's gonna be the emphasis on a lot of developers, because the leap for the next generation technology, it's significant, man. Like, the CPU is a huge leap over this generation, and ray tracing on these consoles, and we don't know the full capabilities of the GPU, but it should be capable. I just don't see them fully supporting cross-gen. Some games will just be there, but they'll be like really scaled down, like a mixture of medium and low settings.
We will see. We'll definitely see. Either way, Battlefield is Battlefield, man. Very exciting. Midway 7, what's going on, brother? Shout out to you, man. Others Inc., of course. We've got Magibor. Thank you so much. Indie Gamer, what's going on, brother? We've also got Peluca Fizz, Buck, Roger, Timothy Clark. I think I just said that. Coinbra, the Z Black Rider, the one and only Z Black Rider. And we've also got a super chat from Xbox Battlegrounds. Thank you so much. He said, keep up the good work, brothers. Do appreciate it, brother. So, Battlefield 6, I'm looking forward to it, man. Just hopefully they knock it out of the park. I'm tired of this bullshit. Another next generation title, pretty much being confirmed by Square Enix, is they are working on some stuff right now. So, Square Enix is working on a next generation action game experience leaked on their Japanese website. That's kind of how we found out the PS5 has 16 threads and not just 8 cores and 8 threads here. The exact quote, it is a new AAA IP. The first development division is working on a next generation action game experience. Okay, stop clicking on this. This has been developed with an international team of creators from around the world and looks... What is this doing? Holy shit. I reinstalled Chrome today and all it did is stop it from crashing, so I don't know. It looks to take a step forward in terms of the existing action game framework. So Square Enix are looking to build an all-new, some kind of crazy next-generation action-adventure game where, we haven't really seen something going on like this. I have no clue what this could be, though, Colt. I mean, what was that game we heard about like a year or two ago? Do you remember? It was kind of weird. I think it was from them. Was this last year? This past E3?
Yeah, I think so.
I forget what it's called, though.
Are you talking about the Final Fantasy?
No, it was the one game that wasn't Final Fantasy that was there. I don't know.
Remember.
Maybe someone in the chat will know. Honestly, though, I mean, what are you hoping
was
from
it a game
Square
I even
Enix?
care about?
Probably not. I have no clue, Colt. You're leaving me high and dry here, Colt.
It wasn't
I'm not a
Marvel game, was it?
fan.
Jesus Christ, everyone smack yourselves in the face.
Next,
No,
go
I mean,
forward.
He said, next, I don't give a shit. Anybody else give a fuck about the Square Enix game? Again,
No,
I'm trying to be
move on.
I'm trying to be
You talking about
enthusiastic about
Are
this.
you trying to be
Talking about
diverse?
the Marvel game? The Marvel?
No.
No, he's talking about a brand new IP that's coming out. I
Oh,
I get what
remember
you're
that
saying.
announcement at all.
Talking about. I just don't know the name of it. That one with
Again, it was like we were watching E3 in a party
Yeah, I
together, and it was
remember
like the
what you're
one
talking
game that wasn't Final Fantasy that was there.
yeah, it looked really cool.
I just don't remember what it's called.
I
Maybe
don't
someone
remember.
can help us.
Tim, do you remember anything like that?
No, I don't. I have no
These
idea.
guys are crazy. Hey, remember that one game? It's got the game where you use the controller and stuff, and it's on your TV.
Remember
when
that
it
shit, a
comes
little
out?
butt ass and shit controller? Yeah, I remember. I don't.
It was Babylon's Fall.
Is that it?
That's what somebody said. Fantasy
no.
Star Online,
Not Fantasy Star Online. We'd remember that.
Outriders.
Outriders. That was it.
What was
I
Outrider?
remember
What
the
did it
name.
look like?
Outriders. It looked cool. I remember that.
Okay.
Almost as cool as Koginsu.
Almost as
Hello.
cool as not remembering the name.
Yeah. Also,
Outriders is the name, though. I remember. It was Outriders.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the trailer just so we don't fucking fraud ourselves.
Outriders. CG included. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I just remember a lot of explosions and like guns, and it was just
Now you're speaking my language. I don't remember this at all.
In either
Yes.
case, I mean, it's kind of cool to hear those guys talk about new titles being made for the next systems. Ubisoft, we're also talking about reworking things for next gen as well, right? Randy, you remember that? Nope.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, they also delayed all their games to put
Mhm.
them on next gen, cross gen. It's going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
All these games. How long do you think, Dealer? If you had to guess, how long are we going to have cross gen for next gen for? 3 years? 2 years?
Well, I'd say they're more
Oh.
capable of doing it than ever. People often discount things like GameCore, which are kind of set up to help with that kind of stuff, right? At least to some degree. I remember a long time ago when we first heard about GameCore, we weren't even talking about it out in public yet, right? And you were telling me some people were saying, no, it's not going to be used for the original Xbox. I'm like, that makes no sense. That defeats the entire purpose of that kind of technology that's meant to scale games. We find out it will be used for the original Xbox. I think it's a big part of the plan. So I think they're more capable than ever of scaling things for longer. It'll be a challenge, but I don't know, man. How long did they carry cross-gen this time? I know Tomb Raider came out
2 years. 2 to 3 years.
2 or 3 years. So
I think
Two-
it's going to
2
be a lot
years.
longer. I think it's going to be a lot longer this next generation because they've
I think
even
it was-
said multiple
I think it's
times
gonna
that
be less.
PC's doing it.
I think it's going
you're
to be
kind of
about-
low, Zucker.
I think it was like 2 years.
Oh,
I
well.
don't even think it was.
Speak up, Soccer. Is that you?
Yeah, it's me, man. I'm sorry.
All right, what were you
I
saying?
said I think it's going to be a lot longer because they've hinted multiple times. A lot of executives have hinted multiple times that, yeah, like, why do you keep asking about this? Like, PC's done it for years, where
Yeah.
you can play a game for years, and it's like, oh, your computer's this old. Well, you can still play this game, maybe lower settings, but you can play it still. So they've hinted at that for a long
know how
time.
long
I
I've
think
been
it's-
saying
I
that
think it's gonna
shit?
happen.
I've been referencing scalability on the PC side for years, and these guys, they walk right by that every time they find a reason for the old shit to hold back the new shit.
Yeah, but I think at some point third parties just aren't going to bother with the Xbox
Yeah,
One or Xbox One X
said it.
Well,
anymore.
then they don't want to sell 40 more million, 50 more
No,
million.
but
I mean,
it's
but then
gonna-
at the
it's gonna
same
come up.
time, you're also going to have XCloud. So
Yeah.
they
A lot
might
of
just be like,
variables.
we're good with Scarlett, we're good with PC, and we're good with XCloud.
I think what
Yeah, but
we don't
you know.
they're putting Scarlets and they have
Yep.
they're also going to be putting Scarlets in the server racks. But I say it's going to be 3 years. I don't think it's going to be as quick as it was turnaround last gen, but it's definitely going to come, and it's going to come with a developer like Battlefield. They're going to be like I can see them being one of the first, or somebody to really say, "Hey, we're just going next gen. We can't, we want to have an experience that's only capable on these next generation consoles." So it's inevitably it's going to come. I just think it's going to come a little bit longer than it was last gen. It was pretty quick last gen when they cut off the 360 and PS3.
Greatness always says, are you guys going to talk about PS4 becoming the second greatest console? Well, I am assuming, the Wii is still crushing the fuck out of the PS4's numbers. You're right. The original Wii. So yeah, the Wii's better. It sold more. You're right. Number 2, PS4. So I mean, at the end of the day, like, I guess that's interesting stuff, but I have no clue, Rand. I would say at least as long, if not longer, than what we have already experienced with this gen.
I was just looking at like Call of Duty, for instance. They did so. Ghost was cross-gen, and then Advanced Warfare was cross-gen, and then Black Ops 3 was cross-gen, but it didn't have the single player. And then finally, Infinite Warfare was the first one where it was next-gen only. So that was 3 years later.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling it's just gonna be like 2 years, and then developers will be like, all right, all these games are basically for PS5 and Scarlett only.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, screw the Xbox One, screw the Xbox One X, screw the Pro, screw the PS4. We're done.
That's with third parties. So I think Microsoft is.
Yeah, of course. That's third parties. That's not saying
Well,
what Microsoft's gonna do. Microsoft is gonna support all the systems for probably a little bit of longer time than that. Sony PlayStation's gonna drop the PS4 like a bad habit immediately.
I'm pretty sure the Wii sold more than 100 million units, right? The Wii's at like 130 or some
The
shit.
Wii's like 102, 103.
102? Oh shit, I thought it was a little higher. All right, fuck me, right?
I mean, it barely crossed 100 million.
Well, either way, you're still right there next to basically what is a motion control GameCube. Good job. So yeah, I just try to bust into these people's heads. Like, I don't give a fuck how much this plastic
Well, they
sold.
haven't
I bought
been-
one myself. Who cares?
The generation ended like 6 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, another two. Rumple Foreskin says another $2 to make Tim Dog holla. Tim said, "Fuck you. I'm not ass cheap this time." That's what he.
900.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Dealer,
Get
oh
to
my gosh.
500.
What?
Hit that like button.
Oh my gosh, the PS4 sold more than that freaking console that does Wii bowling. Yes.
Yeah. And the little 3DS is crushing the Vita, so of course it's always been better in every way. I mean, there's all kinds of weird examples of just knowing
knowing this just heightened my experience when I played Spider-Man and God of War. Just knowing that, like, just makes me so much more happy. You know what? Actually, I'm giving Days Gone a 10. It's a 10 now. I'm giving it. It's over. Like I had it at like a 7, maybe a 6.5, maybe a 3.
Well, it sold more than
But
Gears,
now-
so you got to bring the score up quite a bit.
even
And I
more.
think I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy Outer Worlds on the PS4 Pro because I think I'll have a better experience paying $60 over there instead of
Facts.
And you get a little more grass.
You get a little more grass. Let's go ahead and move forward here. We believe it or not, we still have fucking topics in Colt. If you couldn't tell from that last one, this motherfucker got to go drink his My Lantern.
Going over 2 hours again, dealer.
I don't know, Tim. It's not my fault. Let's talk about XO19. So, basically, XO19 will focus on games. According to Aaron Greenberg, here's the thing, chat. I need to know your answer here because I'm not getting tricked again. Phil Spencer got me once. What kind of games do you think they'll be? Also,
Leading edge.
and why they're telling us about that in the chat, Tim, I want to know what you and Phil Spencer talked about today on Twitter.
Well, we talked about basically. I asked him a question about how they're happy with the sales of Gears and Outer Worlds, and he, basically that it's the gamer's choice now to choose if they want to do Game Pass or if they want to buy it outright. And basically on all fronts, they're doing well. So Gears and Outer World for Xbox has done very well. And he also talked about crazy Game Pass. I mentioned this earlier. I wish they would really give us a concrete number, but I kind of think that possibly Game Pass maybe even doubled or came close to it within the last month. Like I'm say if it was at 1.5 million, now it's at 3. But I don't really. That's just me. Just wondering. I wish they would come out and talk about those numbers because I think that they're ahead. And people are like sheep if they hear that something's popular, just like that guy said. We're going to talk about it. When they hear things are the most popular and the best and it's selling the best, guess what? It's like in their head something clicks and says, "Oh, I got to be a part of that too." So I think Microsoft should talk about it. As for XO19, I'm with you, dealer. I don't want to overhype this. We overhyped E3, or at
Well,
least
we
I
were
did.
overhyped for E3. God damn it!
Yeah,
They're like, "Well, you believe the rumors?" It's like, no, bitch. I was going off what Phil Spencer said. What are you talking about?
But I do think there's going to be an acquisition, and I think there's going to be some new games there. The acquisition, I don't know if it's going to make everyone happy. It could be just platonic, but
You're kind of hearing conflicting things on that, kind of like.
Right, it could be them. It could Ataki just put up a post that he's back in. So I mean, that would be my dream. Some type of startup Japanese studio that they're building.
Are they going to buy Sony?
No, they're not going to buy Sony. But I think as somebody says, this is a question to panel. Do you want them to use one of their, ace in the holes? Do you want them to announce Fable, even if it's just a teaser?
I would hold all that biggest shit for E3 because Sony are coming.
Yep.
Right. So that's the thing. Do they want to waste one of? Do they want to shoot one of these? Or use one of their aces in the holes? And I don't think that they will. I think the history tells us that Phil's very laid back, very, cards to the vest, and they're going to be playing the long game here. So, I think you're going to get a game and you get a new studio out of this XO.
Hey, hang on one second. Acid Trip, I'm about to send you on a trip, motherfucker. You gotta leave. Don't be talking about that racist shit, all right? We don't tolerate that bullshit. Gunplay, FPS. He says Crossfire X might be there. I do believe that's, who's that made? That's in tandem with Remedy and a Korean studio, correct? So maybe that'll be there. Of course, any other ideas in the chat, you guys can call it out. But yeah, Crossfire X is a big one.
They have a lot of games to show at XO, man. They have, Bleeding Edge, Ori, Wasteland 3, Minecraft, Dungeons. They have a shit ton of things to show, and I think that's going to be enough. And maybe a new studio. I don't think it's going to be a huge one. I think that'll be good enough for them to just be like, all right, let's get ready for E3. But I think they need to wait at least a year or two when they start getting shit done to make XO a little bit bigger. I think once they have these studios firing on all cylinders and they have the shit moving forward and they're able to show shit, I think that's when XO is going to be a little bigger. I don't think it's this year, though.
Brian in the chat, real quick.
So let's keep the hype.
Here's where I'm going to differ from you guys. Is that,
don't lump me in with these people, Rand.
I know. Here's the thing. They are flying people out there.
Yeah.
They're flying media out there. They are flying YouTubers out there. They are paying for their flights. They're putting them up in hotels.
We know it's a much bigger show than last year.
They ain't doing that shit so they can show off
Did they do that last year?
And those small nobody went. No, Microsoft did. Like, no. This XO
I didn't know this.
is
I didn't know that,
bigger than last year's. They are paying out the wazoo to get people to come out there and check out everything that they're doing. So to sit here and say, well, they'll show off Bleeding Edge. Well, of course they're going to show off Bleeding Edge because Bleeding Edge is coming out real soon, right? And But like to sit here and think about what we basically destroyed Xbox on this past E3, where they played it completely safe, and then to sit here and be like, well, we don't expect anything and just hold it for next year. No. Because you can have your cake and eat it too in this instance. You can come out here and you can show Bleeding Edge and be like, but wait, We also have the Hellblade team working on something more. Roll a 1-minute teaser trailer.
It's a
And at the
VR
end of the
game.
teaser trailer, it's like full reveal, E3 2020. You know, you have Playground Games
That's
come out
great.
there, they talk about Forza and be like, but wait, we're not done. Roll a 1-minute teser trailer.
Rand, hang on.
Fable,
Something important
finally
just occurred to
announced.
me.
I'm just saying there are things
Something important
that you
just
can
occurred
do.
to me. I just want to tell the chat to sit down and remember that we don't, they just don't get yourself to overhype on this, because Rand is making this shit sound like Christmas.
No,
No, I'm not saying that. Look, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen.
Shut up, dealer.
I'm just saying.
Excited.
I'm
So,
just
Rand,
saying,
you're
like,
confirming that
but
this-
Rand is confirming Grand Theft Auto 6 at XO.
Rand is also saying what he thinks, and I kind of agree with
It's
him,
what
that
I think
Microsoft
they should do.
needs to do.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Microsoft does need
that
to do
should
so.
and what they will do. That's two different things.
Now,
Yeah,
Brian
yeah,
in the
I
chat,
agree
Brian
with
Domenico wants to know what random tweet Sony will crush XO with single-handedly.
They'll announce some PlayStation 5.
Oh, we've
specs
acquired
and,
Microsoft. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they'll be like PlayStation 5 is $299 and is the 25 teraflops,
Yeah.
something like that. But I'm just saying, like, the one thing that's been lacking for the last few years about Xbox is hype. People can't get excited about what Microsoft's doing because they don't know what Microsoft is doing. And
Yep.
that's a problem on the marketing and messaging side. That's where their issue is. Hardware is great. Like, the X is one of the best consoles ever made. Scarlett, I have no doubt, will be an amazing console. The services, Xbox Live, Game Pass, top notch. The one problem that Xbox has is how they message and how they market not only Xbox itself, but the games they make. Nobody even knows that Microsoft basically has a game a month coming out next year. And that's a problem. And that's all on their marketing thing. Like, it doesn't matter that whatever Playgrounds work, it could be Fable, it might not be Fable. And if you're worried that, we don't want to show it too early because we might cancel it, like, you need to get out of that line of thinking.
Yeah.
Because I always hear this, and me and Tim go back and forth on this, like, Phil doesn't want to show stuff early. That is the biggest bullshit I've ever heard. He doesn't
that's
show
some
stuff
passion right
early
there.
because he doesn't have stuff to show early. We were basically stuck in those years where there was nothing in development. But when
Yep.
there is stuff to show, he was very keen on showing it.
Well,
Ori
he was.
2, 3 E3s before it comes out. 3 E3s. How many
that
E3s
really that
was
long
last
ago?
of it? Yeah, it was
Holy
shown
shit.
at 2017, 2018, and 2019.
I'm gonna drop this
So
banger
don't
early.
tell me that Phil doesn't like showing stuff early. He didn't like showing stuff early because they had nothing to show. That was his basic damage
what-
control.
Are you yelling
What
at
was
Others
it?
Inc. right now?
What would you say about this E3 though? I think that I agree with what you're saying. But why was this E3 like everyone said lacking? I think that he could have put out one of these.
Well, it was lacking
you
from
know.
everywhere, Tim. Like, literally nobody showed up to
Unless
E3.
you
No,
wanted
but
to,
I'm sa-
unless you wanted to
yeah,
watch
I
a deer
agree,
head butt
but-
some soap out of a vending machine,
Unless
right?
you wanted to see
could've-
Final Fantasy, then you got a good taste of that. But
No,
anything
but
else,
I'm saying like we all thought certain things. I mean, they
We know what I mean. We knew what exactly was going to be shown as soon as Phil said they had 14 games. Me and Dealer, we sat there and we figured out exactly what 14 games it was going to be.
Well,
Remember?
we made the videos on
And then,
them,
and then,
yeah.
of course, you have insiders being like, "Halo is going to be played on stage with the PC controller. 3 new Xbox IPs. Where'd they all go? Where'd all the
and then
sources
that's when we
go?"
figure out that misinformation campaign, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind that if Lockhart's, obviously a thing, they're gonna have to reveal that thing
could
sometime
do a
soon.
hardware thing. They
The
could do a
thing
hardware
is, for me, next gen's coming, and it's coming real soon. Sony is going to take the gloves off because they are going to have fucking huge AAA, graphically bleeding edge type games like Horizon Zero Dawn 2, a new God of War, a new Spider-Man that are going
A
to
new
look cutting
Knack
edge.
3, fuck y'all,
right?
Knack 5.
And you can't and you can't start the hype at E3 2020 when presumably Sony is going to be there to also show it. You need to
Yep.
start it now. You need to get people excited and look forward to, hey, there's Fable. That's going to be great. I can't wait to play it in a couple years. Hey, Bleeding Edge looks cool, but you know what looks even cooler? The Hellblade team's making a single player game from Ninja Theory. I can't wait for that. Stuff like that. You don't need to show the game.
Well,
all
okay,
you need to show is like,
Will-
hey,
will they do it though, Rand? Do you think?
will they do it? That is the big question. I don't know, Tim. And if I did, God, I would be rich, wouldn't I? Because I could come out there, make a video telling everybody what I thought I knew.
Here's the problem. Microsoft feels like they need to hold all of that ammunition in the magazine for E3, but Rand is absolutely right. They have to show
I agree with
goodwill.
Rand.
Yeah.
They have to show faith to the consumers that there is stuff coming, because You said that Sony's going to have the gloves off. They've already got the gloves off because they didn't even show up for E3. They were putting out big announcements all through the summer to try and keep the hype train moving, to keep momentum. And they've been doing a pretty good job. And Rand's right. They're going to show some big games. Microsoft needs to let people know stuff is coming. I think what you said was perfect. Say, what else is coming? Here it is. And you'll see more at E3.
Yeah.
And they need to do that because then you got people talking the rest of the year.
Well, Rand, I'm going to be honest with you then. I don't think they have enough to show for XO. Because at this
they
point,
got 10 games coming out next year, Zoc.
I know they got 10 games coming
works,
out. I understand they got 10 games coming out. And the games that we know are coming out, a lot of people aren't that hyped for.
Sure.
They aren't.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, they're going to show those games. I'm hyped for a lot of them. I'm going to enjoy those games. And if they suck, then I'm not going to enjoy them. Who knows? But the whole point is that they should have done this then at E3 to build up hype. Because you need, you have your new console coming out, build up hype for a year. But they didn't do that. They put out a disappointing E3, and I don't see them doing that at XO. I just don't. Next year it is.
Apparently, it tested very well with lots of people, so they were incredibly happy with how E3 went. But XO is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be a fan event, like E3 is one thing, but if you're doing an event for fans, if you're paying for all these journalists and media types and YouTubers to come over. You're not going to lay an egg. You got to have them. You got to write something positive about it. Nobody's like, oh, I got to play Bleeding Edge again when you just played it at E3. Oh, I got to play, this game which I played at E3 again. Like they need to really think hard about what they're showing here, because even though Sony hasn't done an event, that's going to end at some point next year. You never know. Sony may have an event in early February. They might have E3. And you'll never be able to regain any sort of excitement because Sony's going to do what Sony does. Big AAA bangers. They're like, and if you're Xbox and you're trying to get people excited about Wasteland and stuff like that without showing them what's in the pipeline, I think you've made a mistake.
Even if
other thing, real quick. Let me get these out here.
Show me the font from Fable, and I'm good.
Just show him the Times New Roman font. Others Inc. says Sony ain't gonna do shit. And then Xbox Battlegrounds says, I feel like Rand is a weak link. That's kind of rude, Xbox Battlegrounds. Rand's a great guy.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to stand up for Rand. I gotta stand up. I gotta stand up for my buddy Rand.
It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, I'm with you though, Rand, right? We've talked about how...
And I'm in agreement with Rand 100%.
Well, we've talked about how, Microsoft got more going on this year than they did last year. And we know more behind the scenes that we can't say. But at the end of the day, like, after that last E3, man, it left a sour taste in pretty much everyone's mouth for the most part. And there's a lot of people that damage controlled that E3, and funnily enough, those people ended up going to the Sony side not soon after, right? But again, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I just want big blockbuster type of games. By the way, Rumple Foreskin, he says, overlays fire. Thank you very much, sir. I just want big games, man, and Microsoft can show us. They do have a lot in the works. They got 8 studios that are capable of producing AAA games, and of course, many of those studios have more than one team. So maybe they're working on a couple different games, and maybe Fable or whatever is that far. But then again, there's that job listing. And it's like, holy shit, what I do? Where am I? So it's all very confusing, Rand. I think there's so many ways it could go, and it's kind of the same way with the generations, the consoles. It's so hard to predict what's going to happen because it's never happened before at launch like this that we're thinking. So it could go a lot of ways, man.
And sorry, people are calling me Shady was joking, but other people have called me like a hater. I'm not hating.
You're hating.
I really want whatever Rand is like, pushing right now. I want to buy it. Like I want that shit to happen. I want it to happen. I just after E3, like I'm just kind of like, all right, I gotta wait and fucking see at this point, to be honest. And to be honest with you, from the things that are looking at Death Stranding, I'm on a wait and see with Sony because this year their exclusives have fucking sucked ass for me. I don't like them.
This year's been pretty bad for. And look, I'm not saying all this stuff is going to happen.
Jeremy,
I'm saying that's what I want XO to be. Do you remember how hyped PlayStation Nation was after PSX 2016 when they unveiled Uncharted Lost Legacy and said Last of Us 2 was in production?
Yeah.
And I think they trotted out Kojima to show off Death Stranding again. Like people were so excited about what PlayStation was doing in 2016 because they showed the entire cart, and like nobody, you don't really hear about that anymore. Like people
they won that E3, Rand, and none of those games came out within that year at
years
all.
later.
But that's
I mean, it
kudos
didn't matter.
to Sony. So they like Rand has said, their marketing is usually spot on, and I agree with Rand. I think that this is their time that they should put the pedal to the metal, and they should take the gloves off or whatever you want to say. At this point, it is go time, and I think for the fans, I think the fans need that. I think we need the confidence, and we need that moment of that, even if it's a half of what the 2016 moment was at PSX. We need something like that. There's no doubt about it, and I think that it's a very fair point. Listen, if they lay an egg like Rand says that they're not going to do, which I hope that they don't. If they do, they deserve all the criticism in the world, because at this point, there is stuff in the pipeline. There is things that they can do. There is things that they should talk about, like you said, a game a month for next year that they're going to be releasing. Talk about that stuff. Get it out in the pipeline. Get people talking, and get your head out of your ass.
And Armando, man, quit yelling at me, man. I got enough problems. I mean, again, it could go a lot of ways, but we do know they're flying more people out. We do know that they got some more things going on behind the scenes there. It'll be interesting to see what that is. I don't feel like they would do that for no reason. They are getting Matt Booty and them out there again. Phil Spencer, right? Rams should be out there again.
All the studio heads I heard are going to be.
Yeah, so they don't really assemble that kind of stuff and spend all that money to put all those people up in hotels and feed all this stuff for no reason. Say what? Somebody went.
Assemble.
Oh, yeah. Assemble. Okay. So, yeah, they're spending money there.
Say that there's going to be a new game that we never before. Wasn't that
I'm expecting there's going to be a new game announcement, 100%. I'm expecting there to be a new studio to get announced. I'm also expecting there to be cringy dialogue written by people that don't know really what they're supposed to be talking about. I do expect them to try to sell us hard on Game Pass Ultimate.
Yep.
But I am expecting stuff new, and that may be me being naive or hopeful. Maybe it's me more being hopeful, because I just want to sit there and be like, here's Bleeding Edge, here's Wasteland, here's Minecraft
what
Dungeons.
Your sources said
here's all the stuff. My source.
To be confident.
I can't say. I can't say on. I can't say on the podcast.
All right, death proof. That's a warning for you, buddy. I'll give you a warning because I'm a nice guy. Look at D-Batch typing away in the chat.
The chat is feisty today.
Yeah,
feisty
I like it. I like it.
What the fuck, death proof?
Give me some more comments. Yeah. Again, we could go all day about this. We love talking about this kind of stuff. You guys are obviously fired up about this type of stuff. It's exciting stuff, man. We just need big blockbuster AAA games. I've been saying this shit for years. We do not want to wait until next E3. Some idiot said that we said that again. I mean, 30,000 people heard us all have strokes and aneurysms on our fucking E3 reactions podcast. We were not happy. Some of you guys were, but we weren't.
That same guy hasn't had E3 in a year and a half.
We're the only podcast.
So shut the fuck up!
Jesus
Christ!
Jesus, Tim.
He was yelling at others here too. All right, Tim. I think it's important.
Where they give it a 3.
I'm over 2 hours.
Yeah, you're getting a little feisty here. Let's move on to the next topic. Let's move on. Tim, nibble on some cheese or something, man. In the background, come on.
All right. Need some food.
Drama cheese.
Yeah, there's a little drama cheese.
Give me a Popeye sandwich.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to all the people checking us out, man. Hit that like button. Let's try to get as many likes as possible for the end of the show. 1,000 after the fact. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell button if you want notifications. If you're not a member, hit that join button. Become a member today. Support the channel. Stuff like that. Again, we're going to go ahead and move it forward to the next topic. If I can pull this up on time. Sony talk about PlayStation 5. They say the PlayStation 5 will be affordable, so as many consoles as possible can reach consumers at launch for maximum market penetration. Say what?
$4.99.
No.
$1.
It's just, again, I mean,
PlayStation
Sony keeps talking about a very appealing price, so I'm going to say $3.99. And even this article says maximize market penetration. You don't do that with $500. That's not a thing. So Sony CEO is confident in the PS5's success. He also says they are developing first-party studio games as well as basically commissioning third parties to start hammering out some stuff for them. I talked about this recently. Colt, does this at all remind you, of maybe what Xbox did in 2013, where they had a lot of third-party support to kind of carry that load at launch?
Yeah, it does, because there is a difference between Xbox's second party or third party support and what PlayStation's been doing. So the difference is Xbox is moving away from some of that third party support, and they're having their own studios and their own people make stuff for them. So that's good, but it is interesting, isn't it? You did this video last week or the beginning of the week about how they will rely on third party and first party support. But there are a ton of games that Sony puts out that also go to PC because they're third party and they're published by Sony. So that's going to be a little different too.
I not to cut you off, but someone sent me in my inbox. I don't know if it's true that Street Fighter 6 was leaked and that it's gonna be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, console exclusive, or something like that. You guys know anything about that?
Nope.
There was someone, Boss Logic created a cover for that today, so a lot of people were running around with that image. But he just creates like stuff like that. Doesn't necessarily mean number one, the game's real or that it's exclusive to anything or that it's even being worked on. But I did see that image, and it is pretty damn good looking.
Yeah, it looked official. That's why I was like, whoa, okay.
It's like the 6 with the boxing glove as the uppercut on
and
the back.
the PlayStation 5 underneath there, the logo there.
I just saw it earlier today. I just saw what Saltine.
That could be something that Sony does with their.
I just saw what Saltine said in the chat. I'm dying right now. So I mean, again, people are freaking out because Tim's over there yelling. The chats are rolling in there, Tim.
Somebody said Tim's feisty.
Yeah, Tim's feisty. Again, Jeremy Bowers, all you guys, Tasteless Genie, Ron, all you guys, Obi-Wan, fantastic moderator. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I don't know. Zalker, I want your take on what they're doing here. They're trying to get maximum market penetration, meaning a cheap price. I don't think you would think 500 means a cheap price. And they're trying to...
I would go with the $399.
Going with $399.
Yeah. I would go with $399. That's what they're trying to do. I think that's if they're going to try to get maximum, hit the market and try to get as many people on their platform, that's what they're going to do. And I don't think it's going to stop at the console, right? Like they've talked about before multiple times that this console is going to be very capable, but it's not the only thing, streaming and all the other stuff that, will be on PC or wherever go hand in hand with the console. So I think maximum market means more than just their console. I think when they're talking to their investors, they're talking about the platform in general to go everywhere. And so I think it's the console, it's the streaming. I think it's going to be everything. I think they're going to try to attack this in multiple fronts and make PlayStation a platform that you can play on wherever you are. So I'm looking forward to the console. Of course, I want to see what the specs are. I want to see what they're going to have on there. I hope it's, and this is everything, right? People like this is the point. Competition's good. This will help Microsoft. This will help, everybody try to be better. And it's going to help us at the end. We're going to benefit from this because if they put out a console that's cheaper but actually performs well, you think Microsoft's not going to try to do the same and compete? Well, I hope they do because that'll just help us.
Well, I mean, Sony did claim they're going to have the fastest console fan speed, right? Oh wait, they retracted that. So again,
Dealer,
they
I
did
also
retract
look at quotes like this sometimes being like, well, what do you expect them to say? Do you expect to come out there and be like, well, we're looking not to maximize the PlayStation 5. We look for it to have an unappealing price to a lot of our customers. We don't have that first party studios making games to for that system. It's like, well, of course they're gonna say all that stuff because that's what they want to hear.
After you just got done pumping up XO like that, stop
no,
hating on Sony, okay? For Armando finds a way to get back in the chat.
I didn't say for a single solitary second that was going to happen. That is what I wish would happen.
Yeah, but you did have a little bit of confidence. You were like, Tim, shut up.
Tim, shut the fuck up, Tim. I know what's happening.
Zero confidence. I have zero confidence.
You really have zero.
My expectations for Xbox XO or E3 are basically 0 out of 100. That way, whatever they do show, I'm excited by it because I'm not expecting anything anymore.
Rand, listen, Mr. Standards, weren't they talking to like investors and then Square put this whole thing out about the marketing? Like this wasn't
Square,
like
the people that understood Death Standing so much they gave it 100 out of 100.
Death Standing.
I'm not talking about what they reviewed. I'm talking about what the article said.
Right, but
about
but
PlayStation
I mean,
5.
what do you think Sony's going to say to their investors? We're not going to maximize our potential.
gonna
They're going
be
to say everything they need to
$4.99.
say.
It's gonna be $4.99.
Like, yeah, we're going to maximize
You
everything.
know,
yeah, it's gonna be
I'm gonna
fucking
start joining
affordable
forces
price
with
and
these
attractive
Sony guys
price
in the
and shit.
chat and start talking shit on Rand.
Talk shit on me. Go ahead.
Yeah,
We'll see how long you
Rand
last.
is-
Get
Rand-
blocked.
Rand,
Listen,
man with a
Rand is
million, man
great.
with a million lies. Take that.
Love this guy, Rand. He's the only guy that I can go to when I really need to get out of a certain point of a game. He always gets me out.
Hey,
I'll be
Rand,
like-
I'm in
I'll
a
be like,
certain
Rand, I'm
point.
here. Wait,
Hey,
get
Rand,
me out.
I'm in a certain point of Witcher 3. Think you can help me?
I think you got further than you does.
Rand is awesome.
I know, it's all
man.
man.
Yeah, I did get further than Zalker. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Everybody has.
Who didn't?
Again, I mean, Colt, you kind of gave the generic suburban answer, and then Zalker had a more thoughtful answer, and then
What was generic about? You know what? I want off the show. I'm done.
he said, "I'm done with this." I knew it would trigger him. I knew I would
I'm
get him.
hungry. It's been 2 hours. I don't
Yep.
have any cereal here.
Yeah. We're gonna
Thanks for having me on your show, Colt. I appreciate
we're
it.
gonna have to
my
we're gonna have to end the show. We're gonna have to end the show, guys. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. It's been 2 hours. These longer shows are starting to kind of get out of hand here lately. Again, that was let me re-announce this just in case he wasn't there at the beginning of the show. That is Christian Cage, who won a copy of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the newest version, obviously. Reach out to me on Twitter DM or Patreon DM, and check out that link down below if you're not a patron. That list does update every month. I want to do some outros, and then we will maybe do whatever. So Colt, I know you're ready to go. What have you been up to, man? What have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I've got 50 hours into Outer Worlds. I've been doing just about everything the game offers. I really like it. I hope the next one blows wide open like a Fallout game. This is kind of like a Fallout Light space RPG, but I really like it. And I am going to be playing Jedi Fallen Order. I'm going to wait on Death Stranding for a little bit. And I'm playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare as well. But I mean, who cares about what I'm playing? You can find me on Twitter and Xbox at Colt Eastwood. And thanks for having me on the show. It's been really good having everybody here.
Yeah.
Really good.
Really interesting show. D-Batch, man, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I've been playing COD, of course, Red Dead Redemption, and finally they patched WWE 2K20 to at least a playable state. You guys could catch me on Twitter at D_Batch, and of course on YouTube at D-Batch. If you guys want to see what Red Dead Redemption 2 looks like on a high-end rig, maxed out at 4K, check out my video on my channel. It looks pretty, but them frame rates, man, they're low.
Them frame rates, man, they're low. You can hear the depression. Right now, Thor, what have you been playing, bud, and where can people find you?
Well, I actually started Outer Worlds because I didn't want Colt to hate me. Because I was actually going to play Death Stranding first.
I mean,
and
we
Colt's
were all
like,
going to hate you.
That, if you do that, I will never forgive you. But yeah, so I've been playing that. I beat After Party. I beat Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which I think has the best campaign out of any Modern Warfare or out of any Call of Duty game this generation. I think you agreed, right, Dealer? I think you really like this new
I
Call
think
of Duty
that's
game,
the
right?
best Call of Duty campaign I've played, and I played pretty much all of them, I think. But, that's just my opinion.
And you can check me out, RandallThor19 on Xbox. It's open. You can ask me for what my info is. I won't block you like a little bitch.
Jeez. Dark Rand.
Follow me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RandallThor19. Got videos coming soon. And appreciate you having me on again, Dealer. Love doing RDX. Love hanging out with you guys. It's always a fun topic. Or fun night, I guess,
Yeah.
Love you.
Hey, Leo, man, give me some credit at least. At least I'm not locking down my fucking achievements shit, bro. Come on. All right? I'm just going through some shit, all right? I got an excuse. I'll think of one. I do need to go back through and finish that, though. You're right. I'm a fraud. What did I start playing? I don't remember. So
Finish what?
hang on. Is Fawn still here?
No, he's gone.
Fon's bound.
Yep.
Holy
Long
shit.
time ago.
Fawn's fucking got the runs. All right. Tim, what have you been playing, bud? Where can people find you?
I've been playing Outer Worlds. I'm about 15 hours in. Absolutely love the game. I'm doing all the side missions. I'm really taking it all in. I have to say, very impressed. My type of game. It's old school fun. Also played some After Party, which is I'm sure Rand has played it. It's pretty fun. It's a little a little dark humor, and it's from the makers of the Oxenfree. It's a pretty good game. I like it, and I've been playing Madden and 2K20. I play about a game a day. I've been playing recently, so enjoying both of them. You can find me here every week, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Love the fans, love the people in the chat, love that Rand comes. Rand is awesome. Love that he's here. The panel's awesome. And on Twitter, that's where my mainstay is. XCloud Tim Dog. You just do Tim Dog and Xbox, and you'll see a guy with a flame on fire shirt. You'll see it. That's me.
Okay, well, where? Oh, you're talking about Twitter. I was going to say, you talking about E3? Were you sleeping? I was going to bring up something horrible, but I just didn't want to do that to you, but I accidentally did.
You just did.
Zucker, Bo, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I've been playing a lot of games. Playing Outer Worlds. I've been playing freaking League of Legends, and I've been playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is a lot of fun. I enjoyed that game a lot. Been playing it with my friends. Yeah, I know that game got panned and all that shit, but I'm having a lot of fun with that damn game. Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Twitter at Zalker87, on YouTube, Zalker87. I put out videos every week, and on Mixer, Zalker87, where I play games and I like chatting with everybody. And chat, thanks for being here. You guys, after even 2 hours, 2 weeks in a row, still have the fucking energy. You guys are awesome. So yeah, thanks, Steeler, for having me on Colt Show.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. You guys are really starting to run with that, huh?
Oh yeah. It's
Not my show.
I wanted to give a shout out to all the chat too, man. Over 900 tonight. You guys are awesome. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, check out the links down below. We got some shirts and merch too. So if you want to buy our RDX podcast shirt, you can get one for $15. I don't think that's that bad. Colt's got some too. So check his store out as well. Randall Thor sells rocks. So if you want a pet rock, you can get one of those from Randall Thor.
I sell gamer score. Listen, I sell gamer score. I'll get you more gamer score than anybody in this community.
I mean, but you'll be getting it with bitch games.
I didn't say they'd be good.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Gamer score has lost a lot of its meaning. I mean, honestly, it's just, geez, people getting so much every month. It's nuts now. But yeah, I've been playing Outer Worlds. I beat Call of Duty Modern Warfare as well. And then we are probably going to be playing. I'm going to actually download Need for Speed tonight, Colt. I'll be having that downloaded on EA Access. I'll find a way. And then we'll be playing Star Wars on the.
Hell yeah.
What is that? The 18th. And of course, FedEx Simulator Stranding. We'll be trying that out and put some time into that. And
yeah.
Seeing
Nothing
how
like an
goes.
arcade racer at 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I don't know. We'll see. How long is the show? Yeah, the show is about 2 hours and 10 minutes long. But yeah, we want to thank all you guys for showing up, man. Again, leave a comment after the show renders. Share this out with a buddy if you got any friends that are into this kind of stuff, Xbox stuff, gaming news stuff. We appreciate it, guys. Do what you do. We'll keep doing what we do. We do appreciate it. I guess we are getting the fuck out of here.
Later, everybody.
Gamertag's private.
Love you.
It's a gamer tag's private. Be a messy bitch.
94 is a new 94.